my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performing school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org. And your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
Hi, I'm Karen Murdoch. I've been teaching at Unity for 23 years. Now I teach pre-K4. They are excited about learning. The excitement in their eyes is just unbelievable. Some of them need the hands-on. Some of them just like to work problems out. Some of them even have that critical thinking at this age, and we develop that. We talk a lot about the Bible in our classroom. A lot of books you read, you can bring out the biblical worldview. Even for these little ones, they know there's one God and three parts to God. When I was teaching sorting, I taught them that God sorted the world into sections. He made the land and the oceans and the animals. That's how I teach, a biblical worldview. Unless they have a Bible-based foundation, they're not going to succeed in life. They might succeed in the world, but they won't really succeed in knowing Christ. And the most important thing is to pray for these kids. Pray that they will grow up and learn biblical characteristics and Bible character. Even when we are talking to kids about maybe they've done something that they shouldn't have done, we share Christ. And the main thing is we ask them, how do you think that the Lord Jesus would feel right now if and they're able to tell you. And it's amazing how these kids learn verses, and that's the main thing I care about teaching them is their Bible. Because I love it here. This place it's not just a school, it's a family. I love the students. God just put it in my heart, and I was just born to teach. I believe that. I believe that there's no greater calling. I could go on and on about how Unity was there in my life when my son had liver disease, and Unity was just here. Supporting in every way. And they, not just me, but they do it for everybody. Everyone that has any kind of situation. It's unbelievable. It's more than just a school. It is a family, a true family. People ask me when I'm going to retire, and I don't know if I'm ever going to retire. I have a prayer book, and I put that group of students in my book, and every month I pray for a group of students that I have taught, and I will until the day I go to be with the Lord.
The Gold Scholarship was created by state law. It is an opportunity for individuals and businesses to tell the state where they want their tax dollars to go and what they want to support. And then the Gold Scholarship Program funds financial aid for lower income students to attend a private school in the state of Georgia.
My name is Vanna Elise Cochran, nickname Sunlight. My middle name means consecrated to God. Educational and academic-wise, she is far superior. And so we went to several other schools trying to figure out where we needed to send her. Unity has provided not just a foundation, but a covering for her to be able to grow and prosper.
So for students, it's helpful in that it provides financial assistance to pay tuition or fees or anything like that.
Your gold scholarship funds are not a handout, they're a hand up. It lifts kids up to a place where they may not have had the potential to go before. She is dyslexic. She does have dyslexia. It's not because it was missed by the school. It was because she was so intelligent, she hid it. And we were able to find someone through the resources that she provided that were able to test her, immediately find what she needs, and get her the resources that were available. And it was just immediate.
So it really opens up the door of opportunity for students to receive an excellent education.
I would ask first, what do you want for your child? It has definitely provided ease when it comes to making sure that our children are able to get what they needed through education here at Unity.
Thank you for letting me be at Unity because I love this school. It helped me with a lot of self-talking and just having a lot of creativity and imagination and music.
Thank you so much for your generosity and your contributions to the Gold Scholarship Program.
Freeze, who's in the studio with us today. And Coach, first of all, how you doing today, sir?
Well, Matt, I'm doing great, man. It seems like we were just here, but there's been a football season in between our last two meetings, right?
I know. We need to make this happen more often, man. I always enjoy talking to you, and I'm looking forward to this conversation because we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today because y'all have had a super successful season. So we'll just go ahead and launch into the first question. But speaking of a successful season, you guys have had an unblemished record for the regular season, 10-0. There have only been 46 points, less than 5 points a game scored against your team this year. Mm-hmm. You guys are averaging just over 47 points a game. And so the first question is, Coach, at what point of the season this year did you realize that you had something special brewing with this squad?
Well, Matt, we knew that the first game of the year against Lafayette Christian, that we felt like they may be our toughest opponent. And we came out and was successful against them and beat them 22-0 at home in our first game. And our defense played a little bit better than maybe what we suspected since we changed a few things. Not saying that was the point in which we thought that we were going to be okay, but just the work ethic that the guys put in. Probably mid-season, we realized that that we were going to be our biggest enemy if there was going to be an enemy, and so we made sure that we just focused on ourselves. And man, the kids have done a great job with that.
Well, Coach, speaking of the defensive side of the ball, and we're going to talk in more detail about your personnel and stuff like that a little bit later on in the show, But, I've talked to you about 9-man football, multiple times. And when people talk 9-man football, the conversation doesn't typically revolve around defense. It's usually talking about scoring lots of points and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But anytime that we've talked about unity on our pick show and stuff like that this year, we're always talking about that defense.
Sure.
So what would you say has contributed? You mentioned some adjustments and things like that,
Sure.
but the success that you guys had on that side of the ball, what's the emphasis been?
Well, I've always been one that's always believed that you should be a very offensive defense, meaning that we press. We're not sitting back reacting to what the offense does. We call our plays and we let them roll. The good thing about it is our kids have really bought into the whole idea of we tackle each and every day. A lot of people get scared of injury. I never want anybody to be hurt, but we never back off of that. If we're in full pads, we're going to tackle live, and they're going to be hit and they're going to hit. And because of 9-man ball and because of missed tackles and things of that nature, missed tackles end up being either first downs or touchdowns. And so we felt like we've done a great job. I think the other thing to that, too, is that like right now, Matt, we are plus 20 in the turnover margin.
Wow.
So, and actually we had 2 turnovers in our last game. So up until that point, we were like plus 22. And I just attribute that to our guys, really running to the football, getting there with a really bad attitude and trying to be physical and trying to separate the ball from the man.
Well, I know one of the things that we talked about in our preseason interview with the coaches preview show that we did with you, Coach, was the fact that you're going to be breaking in a new quarterback after having the same starter for a few years who was very successful.
Right.
And so this year you start a sophomore quarterback in the name of Miles Schwartz. And it seems like he's done an excellent job. So what was that process like, getting him ready to go and getting him in top form this year?
Well, obviously very nervous. I think I alluded to that in our preseason show, because you don't know until they get in the middle of the battle. And I remember walking up to Miles, I think the first game, and just told him, I said, "This is not your game to win. Just get the ball to the guys who will win the game for you." And I can say that he has done that just to the best of his ability. He has distributed the ball around. We've really turned into a vertical passing game, and so our percentages are probably a little bit lower than what you would normally want, 55, 56%, but yards per completion are off the chart, and because we're throwing the ball down the field. And I'm telling you, I've coached a long time, and he's got one of the best releases as far as a pure thrower that I've ever coached. So been very pleased with him. He is not one that gets rattled in the middle of a game. Even whenever, probably over the last 3 games, we've allowed him to carry the ball more. I was protecting him early in the season because I just didn't know how he was going to respond. And the guy's asking me for the ball. And that's always a fun thing whenever, you got your play caller that's really not shaking. Even whenever something does not go quite right, he just shakes it off and goes on about his business.
Well, and on that note, obviously when you've got a young quarterback like that, he's relying on some of the older guys around him to kind of help him, move forward and that sort of thing and be a support to him. So how would you say the team's rallied behind him and that sort of thing?
Awesome. And, I'm remembering back to that first game, and I remember walking up to Elliott Whiteside, who is the center. And I said, "Look, man, you got to protect him tonight. Don't let him get in his head in the game, whatever it may be." Andreo Sawyer, who has just been phenomenal at receiver, who's a senior, has played with us now really for 4 years, but started really hard for 2. He has been just a very calming source there. They're all really good friends. Davis Blankenship, there's another lineman. I mean, all 3 linemen are seniors. So whenever he gets in the huddle, he's not by himself. And I think those guys have done a great job of letting him, relax. And then the flip side we've already talked about is that when you have a defense that's been as stingy as ours, you realize that not every play the game banks on.
Right. Takes a lot of the pressure off.
A lot of the pressure.
Well, obviously, football is one of those things that people that follow sports, you realize, is the ultimate team sport.
Sure.
And so when you've got guys stepping up and supporting each other and being leaders and things like that, you mentioned some guys that we've had out at the radio station before and talked to how mature those guys are. How does that make you feel as a coach and a coaching staff that those guys are showing that, ability to be great teammates and leaders? Well,
first of all, I think that, I have a saying, especially we usually say around the first quarter, something like that. And I'll always ask them, how do their eyes look, meaning our opponents? Mm-hmm. And because, I always point out to them, this is exactly where we want to be. We don't want to be no place else other in this huddle together. And whenever I see those guys looking back at me, I know that it means a whole lot to them. They call me out if they think that I'm getting soft or easy at practice, and so it's been a great blessing to be around a group like that because it means so much to them, and they hold each other accountable. I have a couple of sayings. First, never let one cost you two. We got to get over the play. We can't worry about the last one, and don't shoot your wounded. And I think that's very important in our sport is that it's very easy to point blame or whatever when something don't go right. And I can say this, that our guys do not do that. And I'm so proud of that. And I think that creates an atmosphere within your team to where they realize that there is a next play. And so we're going to play the next play.
Now, I got to ask you this, Coach, but, you referenced players calling you out for being too soft and not hard enough on them and that sort of thing. And I know that in some of the conversations we've had, you've referenced Old Testament and stuff like that.
Sure.
How does Coach respond to that?
Well, I usually laugh. It's actually, I hate to say this, but there's a sense of pride because you feel like, okay, they get it. They realize that the only way that we're going to get to places we want to get to is by not taking shortcuts, but by working extremely hard. They know that with me, there's no excuses. I don't care what it is. There's no excuses. And, we'll look for reasons to be successful. I told them the other night at one of our games, I said, look, you're either the hunter or the prey, and we're the hunters. We'll never be the prey. There's no victim mentality on our field. We're not going to allow it. And I think our kids have really bought into that. So if they feel like there's any sense that I'm not, I walked up to Davis the other day and was joking around with him. He looked at me and goes, "What's wrong with you? Why are you laughing? Why are you grinning?" And so I just kind of had to chuckle at that, but the guys get it. And, hey, it's been a process. It's my 5th year there, and it's been a whole lot of fun watching this group really grow. But there's been confidence in them really since day one, and it's just because of what they've done in the past.
Well, Coach, one more question in this segment, and then we're going to take our first break. But I know one of the challenges that you had last year was continuity in terms of the flow of the season because you had teams that couldn't play games, opponents and things of that nature, and you had several weeks at a time where you wouldn't have a game, so you were having to get creative in terms of how to schedule competitive events outside of football. I think I went bowling one time.
Yeah, we sure did,
And this year you really hadn't had to do that.
That's
so
right.
How's that helped the flow?
Well, there's just a different attitude. Last year, what you're referencing, we went through really a period of nearly 5 weeks without a game. And I remember, one of my coaches come up to me and said, "Coach, we got to do something. We got to do something. These kids, mentally, it's just not good." And we've not had to do that this year. Everybody knows that the next week what we've got going on, and we're not waiting for any phone calls or anything like that. And so, that's been a huge part. We're creatures of habit, at least I am, and I want Mondays to be Mondays and Tuesdays to be Tuesdays and Wednesday. I don't like to see change. And I've always said that, a sign of a great coach or a good coach is one, if I'm not there, that everything should be running just perfectly without me there because they understand what is expected of them. And I feel like our guys could do. I know Elliott Whiteside could run practice in a heartbeat and hit everything that we do. But I know there's others. I keep using him, but he's just been such a solid position for me over the last, really 4 years.
Well, we've got Coach David Humphreys with us, head coach of the Unity Christian School Lions, and they are getting ready for a semifinal matchup on Friday at Coosa High School against Harvester Christian Academy, the Hawks, and we're going to talk more about them in detail later on in the show. But when we come back after our first break, we're going to talk more in depth about your coaching staff, your personnel as far as your team, and those sorts of things. But we're talking all things Unity Lions football here on the Unity Lions Football Coaches Show with head coach David Humphreys. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performance school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org, and your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
All right, we welcome you back here to the Unity Lions Football Coaches Show with head coach David Humphreys with us today. And, Coach, we're just going to go jump back into our questions. And I wanted to spend this segment kind of breaking down your personnel, so
Sure.
I thought we'd start with your staff. Let's talk about your coaching staff this year. Who are the guys that are helping you?
Yeah, sure. Well, Phil Wood, he's the assistant head coach. He's come back. He was with me my first year, and then he went off as a principal. And Phil and I have coached a lot through our Rome years together and things of that nature, been friends. And he's kind of co-offensive coordinator. He coaches the quarterbacks, so he gets to coach Miles and helps out with the wide receivers. Jeff Giddens is a guy that's been with me for 5, and he coaches the DBs and the receivers. He just does a great job. His son is Isaiah, who is playing for us, a junior. And Jeff is just one that he also kind of handles all our special teams. And so that's a huge help as far as that goes. Mark Ellison is kind of new to the staff. It's kind of funny. Mark played football at Arkansas Tech, where I played, but he came about 10 or 12 years after me. But he's come in as the spiritual life director at Unity, and he coaches offensive line and defensive line for us. Been a big help coming in this year, and we're excited about having him. Barry Alford is another one that's been there for the 5 years. He helps with the weight room. He's really one of the unsung heroes of the staff just because of how much time he puts in. He owns Service Master, and he breaks away and comes and lifts the kids. And you know how strong we've gotten over this off season is really due to him and his diligence. It was phenomenal, the type of gains that we made on our team with Barry, and he helps with our inside linebackers and running back position. Nate King is another one that's been there. His son is Brady. The neat thing about Nate is Nate will have our opponents broken down by Saturday night. He'll be sending me text with all the drawings and everything, which really takes a load off of me, since I'm calling both offense and defense right now. But Nate's one of those. I kind of make him kind of a co-defensive coordinator. So he really helps me get everything prepared. But he coaches our outside backers on defense, and is another guy that I'll give him usually 5 or 6 plays on the course of a night, and it's his responsibility to make sure I call them. so he has a list of the special plays that we've done, and then Dan Farron, his son Lincoln, just came to us and is playing tight end and outside backer. Dan played at Liberty. He was a receiver at Liberty.
Really?
And has just been phenomenal. Dan, he travels a bunch, so he's not with us every day. But man, I tell you what, what he has done for us, and just with the enthusiasm and intensity. And he shows up, his old receiver skills come out. He's got his own gloves. He goes out there and catches with the boys and all that stuff. So Dan just does a great job. And then, Sean Burrow, who's our trainer, just does a great job keeping our guys on the field. The great thing I love about Sean is that he just tells me the truth. He's no witch doctor. He'll tell you if a kid can go and if he can't go. And, like I said, I'm an old school guy, and I realize that, football is you deal with pain, and the pain's not a reason not to play. And so Sean, he and I are kind of from the same cloth as far as that goes. And then, of course, obviously Russ Dyer. Russ is our AD, but he's also the middle school head coach, and just does a great job and with that. And just somebody who Unity sports, but Unity football means a whole lot to him. And he pours into these kids day in and day out.
Well, Coach, one of the things as you're describing your staff, obviously it feels like it's one of those things that's been growing over the years, and you've got some guys that have been there for a while, some new faces, that kind of thing. But one of the things we were talking about during the break, and, if you're watching this on Facebook Live and YouTube, you saw a video there that was describing the baseball team and how they're going to be playing at Advent Health Stadium where Rome Emperors play.
Right.
Feels like there's a lot of growth taking place in the athletic department in general.
Yeah, and I have to tip my hat to Russ because of that, because, whenever 5 years ago, whenever we sat down and talked about, me coming and helping at Unity and everything, and I think one of the questions he asked me was, what's it going to take? And I said, money and people. And whenever you look at athletics, that's the whole idea behind it. And he has taken that to heart. The guy works just tirelessly trying to make the experience. I think that's the other thing I told him too, is that, we have to make the experience playing at Unity special. Whether it be, through what we're doing here with social media, or whether it's the swag that we give the kids or the way they look, or, our uniforms, just the gear that they wear has to be second to none. And he's done a great job of finding the resources for us to do that. One of the funny things is that we have got this inflatable lion that we carry to all of our games, and some of our opponents have not appreciated us bringing our lion, but it's also turned in to our locker room at halftime. So instead of going down and finding a locker room, we just all go get underneath the line, and but it's I know the kids see that and they know it's special, and it makes it a whole lot of fun. Yeah.
Do you mind me asking you who's responsible for the lion each week? Because that's a special person, right?
Yeah, it's Russ.
Okay,
Russ, I think Drew Blankenship as well does it as well. But I tell you what, them jokers, they carry it and inflate that joker. And I know I got chewed out a couple weeks ago because we were driving a truck in behind carrying everything and didn't get the can of gas for the generator. So the line just couldn't quite inflate. So, anyhow.
It'll make a great chapter for a book.
Oh, yeah,
someday,
yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, good deal, man. Well, we talked about your coaching staff, a few other things. Let's talk about the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, we talked pretty in depth about your quarterback, but
sure.
Let's talk about some of your offensive
Well,
guys.
I think it all starts with the offensive line. Elliott Whiteside, who's been really, 4-year starter for us at center. Davis Blankenship is a guard that missed the first part of the season, but has been back with us now for over a month. Landon Groover, who was really his first year really playing with us and has done a great job. All three of those guys, I think we mentioned it early that, that quarterback has got 3 seniors in front of him. And so in the huddle or on the field, he's got someplace he can go. And of course, we feel like we have some of the best receivers around. Andreo Sawyer, who has just had an unbelievable year and is a kid that is really special. He can play at the next level for sure, and he's getting some attention around. And he's made 2 or 3 catches this year that are just second to none. I was sharing with you that I think he's had 12 touchdowns called back, and to penalty, whether it be punts or whatever. But the guy can be very electric, and his knowledge of the game, and we'll talk about it on the other side of the ball, has just, I can't tell you how it's exploded, him understanding what's going on around him. So he's fun. Isaiah Giddens is a kid that plays a lot of positions for us. But he has been very impactful, and he's one of our inside slots. And then we got Brady King. He's another inside slot. And so for us, our two inside slots are really our running backs for the most part. And then Tyler Ford, who's just had an unreal year. I was sitting here looking at him, and his rushing stats. Tyler, he's averaging about 17 yards a carry.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you look at our stats by themselves for the year for 10 games, nothing's impressive. But what you have to look at is per play. And I think last week, I'm shooting off the top of my head, but when we played Pinecrest, that was the team that beat us in the state championship last year, I want to say he had maybe like 9 carries for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. I can't remember, but he can be very electric. And the way that he's running the ball now, he never ran it that way last year. He's run it this year, and it's made a huge difference for us. And then we have Cooper Mathis, who is kind of our running back position, which is really a glorified guard, but he can run the ball. But boy, has he made a difference to us because he protects Miles in the passing game. And then he's one of the lead blockers in everything that we do. And he's also pulling double duty. And so, those guys are just something to, whenever I think about, we're a matchup nightmare. Oh, and I forgot our tight end. Bo Madsen. Bo's a 6'5" ninth grader. And I was telling you earlier, I think Bo's got 12 catches for 10 touchdowns. And he's averaging about 40 yards of completion. And obviously he's a vertical guy. He dropped one the other night. We overthrew him one the other night. But because of our game and our tight end is so important to us. And so to defend the tight end really puts you at a disadvantage defensively. It's just a tough place. Because you have to defend the outside run and the vertical release, and so as soon as we can get them protecting the outside, we go vertical on them. And so Bo's been the person that's done that for us.
Well, Coach, in our first segment of the show, we talked about that defense that's given up just 46 points over the course of 10 games, and I say that out loud, and I'm like, is that correct? But it is. But I don't know if they keep record books, or whatever. But that's got to be some kind of record.
Yeah, we're excited about that, and I want to tell you, our guys get very stingy in a hurry. Matter of fact, we had a shutout going and gave one up at the last play of the game, and so I got to shout them out for you. Anytime we have a shutout, I get the guys donuts.
Okay.
All right, and so Krispy Kreme has come in there for us, and them jokers are making me go get them. Anytime we pitch a shutout, but. I tell you, they just play very alive, and they believe in what we're doing. We run to the ball, we tackle a whole bunch, and to them, it's a sense of pride for them, and it reminds me back some of the other places I've been. It takes so much pressure off of you from an offensive play caller when you know that your defense has got your back, and I tell them, I said, look, man, we're going to be aggressive. I'd rather them scoring 1 play than an 8. Because we'll get the ball back and we'll go do what we do. But I just know what our guys are the price they're paying each, and how selfishly they play, because in our defense is a movement defense, and so there's times in which you're kind of the bait. You're not always the person getting to make the tackles, but your job is just as important as the other. So, you want to go ahead and talk?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's talk about your dudes.
So I think the first two that we have to talk, obviously, is Elliott, who is kind of our strong tackle, and then a guy by the name of Joel Sims. Joel Sims actually was playing both sides of the ball, doing a phenomenal job whenever Davis was out the first 5 or 6 games. So Joel was playing every snap. Joe could still be playing on the offensive side of the ball, but because we have a little bit of depth there, he's playing just on defense. He's got an unbelievable motor.
Isn't it great to be able to say the word depth?
Oh, yeah. I remember my first year when they had 4 linemen on the entire team, and now when you look at our roster, the majority of them are linemen. But Joel Sims is a kid that just actually has an unbelievable motor, and they make things happen up front. And then we have 2 outside line. Actually, they have 3, but Blake Hall comes off the weak side. He's had a bunch of tackle for losses and things of that nature. He's a kid that plays very, very physical. And then we have Bo Madsen, who plays our Sam backer, who lines up if you have a tight end or something like that, he'll be on that side of the ball. And then we have those 2 inside linebackers. I think I was looking at the stats, and I want to say that William Wilson's got, I think he's got 100 tackles. Now that's assists and solos. And then Cooper Mathis, who's the wheel linebacker, is probably at 85 or 88. I mean, these guys are making plays all over the field. And both of them combined does not make me. I mean, they're about 150 pounds, 155, but they will run right through the middle of you. And those guys, they take great pride in just making the tackle. I don't just make the tackle. We're not worried about if it's for a 1 yard gain or a 1 yard loss. Just make the tackle. And they do that. And then we have our corners who have just been lights out. Brady King, who plays one corner, and then got Isaiah Giddens on the other. They're very smart. I give them a lot of leeway. They're in man coverage most of the time. But they have a tendency to prowl around and stuff. Matter of fact, Brady the other night in the game, unbeknownst to me, had his own call, and they had a tight end on the backside, and the tight end blocked, and he decided to blitz. And I'm like, and he goes, "Well, I just saw it, and I thought it was a good idea." And I'm like, "Okay, well, we need to run that by me first." But Isaiah, just has made some huge plays. And then the guy in the middle, we call the Lion, and that's Dreo Sawyer. And Dreo is the guy that is really, he checks our defenses and puts them where we need to be, especially in the secondary with all the formations, especially what we're going to face tomorrow night. A lot of formations. So he has to know what's going on. He has to know who's eligible, who's ineligible, because, in our game, numbers don't matter. It's covered, uncovered. So because people haven't played both sides of the ball, you can look up, 59 could be running down the middle of the field. The number does not matter. So we have to identify that. And so those are all guys that do that. Another guy who's really came on and really helped us out is Tyler Ford. Tyler has learned to play defense a whole lot better. He's a backup Sam linebacker as well. So those are the guys that make up the defense, and I tell you what, they get very insulted when you take them off the field. They nearly to the rebellious stage because they don't want to come off, because they don't want to give up, any yards or points.
Wow, man. Well, we've got one more phase of the game that we need to talk about before we take our next break. In our final segment, we're going to talk about your opponent coming up, which you're familiar with. You played them already this season. But let's talk about your special teams, Coach. What does that look like in terms of 9-man football, and who are your guys that you count on there?
Yeah, well, special teams is a little different. Isaiah Giddens is now a junior, and his leg is getting stronger, and so he is now starting to get us some touchbacks on kickoffs. But the problem with that is that if not, then you got to cover with 9 men on that field. And matter of fact, this Harvester team we're getting ready to play returned the opening kickoff on us for a touchdown. One guy stepped out of his lane, and the kid was gone, and So we have a tendency to be very disruptive with our kicking game. We kick the ball all over the place. We don't just kick it deep. We do that just so nobody can get a bead on us. Punting-wise, we haven't punted a whole lot. I think we had one punt the other night. We went a couple of games without punts, which is scary because when we lined up in it, we were in illegal formation. Nobody was on the line of scrimmage. All my guys were illegal, other than the snapper. And so we spent these last 2 weeks working on punt, making sure that we were lined up right. Punt return has been kind of a goat roping, to be honest with you. My guys have a nasty habit of just wanting to run into the punter. And so we're getting ready to kind of put a bit in their mouth on that a little bit. But they're just trying to get to the ball. But they're out of control. And even though we didn't get flags the other night, man, it was close. And, with the returns, Dreo's had several touchdowns on the year from punt returns. But a lot of times, in our game, because you're not punting so much, punts are sporadic. They're all over the place. And so if you can't field it, we just get away from it and we just get the ball. So that's that. And, kickoff returns the same way. People are going to onside kick it. Tomorrow night, we're going to face pretty much onside kicks most of the time or sky kicks. And people do that just so they don't have to cover, whenever you're looking and you've got maybe, 20 guys on your team, you're running them down on a 70-yard sprint to start a series. That can be tough on you. So especially if you just had a long series. So you have to think about what you're going to do special teams wise, especially if you need to take care of your kids as far as their conditioning.
Well, we've got Coach David Humphreys with us, the head coach of the Unity Lions, and time is moving fast, so we better take another break because we've got one more segment coming up. In the next segment, we're turning our attention to the semifinal game against Harvester Christian Academy Hawks. So we'll talk about the opponent when we come back. But we're glad you're with us here on the Unity Lions Football Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performance school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org. And your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
And we welcome you back for one more segment here of the Unity Christian School Lions Coaches Football Show. And, of course, we are glad to have the head coach of the Lions with us, Coach David Humphreys. And we're going to talk about your opponent. Before we do that, though, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about extra points and field goals. I forgot to bring that up in our last segment. So let's cover that.
Man, it's funny. We started last year about mid-season. Isaiah Giddens kept on me about wanting to kick him, and we did, and because we were always going for two, and to be honest with you, we were struggling last year going for two. And I went back after you mentioned that. I looked back at my stats, and I think he's kicked 49. I think we've attempted 60. Not all of them was the misses were his fault, but it's just been a huge blessing knowing that we can line up and get those points. Last year, I think he actually kicked, and I may get this wrong, but I believe he kicked a 42-yard field goal last year, if I'm not mistaken. The kid's got a really strong leg, and if we play focused a little bit more and let him have more time at practice working on that, the sky's the limit for him. But as his leg has matured, we mentioned that his kickoffs we were getting some touchbacks, and that just alludes to the strength that he has as far as field goals.
That's tremendous. So moving on to talk about your opponent. Of course, here in the semifinals, you guys had a bye from the first round, which is the quarterfinals. You're playing Harvester Christian Academy Hawks, and the Hawks picked up a close victory over Community Christian there in that quarterfinal round. Posted a solid 7-4 record. They've enjoyed some really successful games this year. You guys had a lot of success against them earlier in the season, but you mentioned some difficulties you had in that matchup and that sort of thing. And they always say that a lot of challenges come with facing the same team twice in a year.
Yeah.
So what does that look like, Coach?
Well, the first time we played them, I think I touched on this. They returned the opening kickoff on us, and then we turned right around and scored on them on the first play. I think Tyler Ford rushed for like 68 yards for a touchdown. But then they went on like 12, 14 play drive on us. And I will say this, that my linebacker, we were calling the strength the wrong direction, and they were taking advantage of that, and we had some guys out of position. Once we got it settled down and it smoothed out, then things settled down for us. They got a quarterback that is very dangerous. He's very elusive. We struggled at times tackling him 3 weeks ago. They've got a running back, 44, who is kind of one of their go-to guys. They put him all over the field. They like throwing the ball to him. They'll hand off. He's a bigger guy. He's not like the quarterback that can really run, but he's a handful. We struggled with him a little bit last time because we were tackling him too high, and so we've got to get down there on those thighs and all that. So they're also going to be a team that's going to give us a lot of formations. We were talking about Dreo Sawyer and how he's got to be ready to recognize all these formations, because in our game, numbers really don't matter. So you can't look at a kid's number, know he's eligible or not. You got to know, is he on the line or off the line? Is he covered, uncovered, or whatever? And so we've worked really for 2 weeks identifying, and we always have, a talking defense is a good defense. If you see a defense that don't talk, they don't know what they're doing. And so our guys have really done a great job of trying to keep each other informed on who's eligible, who's not. And it's going to be a huge job for us tomorrow night for sure.
Of course, playing tomorrow night at Coosa High School at Bragg Field.
Right.
And, one of the things, I know that's been a great partnership for you.
Wow.
And y'all have had a lot of success over the last few years. So in terms of fan support and that sort of thing, what's the environment and atmosphere?
Well, I tell you what, it seems like each week I've been asking Russ, the attendance is going up. Mm-hmm. The atmosphere is just unbelievable. And I've got to mention, Joey Mathis, Jamie Alcorn, Dr. White, for their relationship or partnership that we have with them, allowing us to rent that field and everything. It's just been unbelievable. And I know our kids love playing there, and our opponents do too. I mean, they just come and brag about the facility. But we expect a huge crowd tomorrow night, getting all of our students and everything there. And, the thing about it is this will be the last home game for our seniors. And, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, about how fast, 4 years ago you were looking, thinking you had tomorrow. And now all of a sudden we look up and Mars are running out. So we want to make sure that we make it special for those seniors.
Well, Coach, as you get ready for this opponent and try to punch your ticket to another state championship opportunity in the following week, what would you say are the keys to success in this game and what you've been trying to drive home to your squad this week as you prepare?
Well, I think the main thing is that we can't get too tied up about any one play. We got to realize that there's other plays until there's not any other plays. And we can't get too high. We can't get too low. We got to realize that this team, Harvester being, is there for a reason, that they've been there because they've won ball games and they know how to score and so for us to think that they're not going to come out and give us their best effort would be ridiculous to think. And then I think the big E is turnovers. If we can eliminate those, which we've done a fairly good job this year. That was the thing to me, that in our first meeting that we got a couple of turnovers on them kind of back to back. And, it kind of breaks your back whenever you have that. I mean, Brady King had a scoop and score of like 80 yards when they were driving. And, of course, that was a huge momentum changer for us at that point in time. So, that and just, it was really funny. Monday is kind of our insertion day, and I was looking at doing some different things. I finally just said, no, we're going to do what we do. We ain't worried about nothing else other than just doing what we do. So I think our guys are bought into that, and they know that if we play like we know how to play, we'll be okay.
Well, Coach, as we wind down our conversation, of course, I know your football success that you've had over the years, coaching at different levels, experience, all that kind of stuff, and your passion for football is very important to your role in this program. But you are also, the area director of the FCA, and so your faith plays a massive role,
Sure.
In that as well.
Sure.
So What does it mean to you to be the head football coach at Unity, and what's the biggest thing that you hope that these young men get from the experience of playing with your program?
Well, I think first of all, Matt, I appreciate the question for sure. It's a huge blessing to be involved with this program. Football is extremely relative. And what I mean by that is it don't matter what level. I've been fortunate to coach at a lot of different levels. And each level, coaching is the same. You hold people accountable. You paint a picture for them, and then you help them get there. That's what you want to do. And with us, the one thing that we get to do, and of course I've done it even before I came to Unity, but, Jesus Christ is a huge part of who I am. And, I'm going to show them that we can go out and we can be physical on the football field and we can compete as hard as anybody. And at the same time, we can glorify the Lord by our actions and the way we work. He wants us to take those abilities that he's given us. And we realize that not everybody, and Matt, that not everybody is blessed to run, to jump, to have the mental capacity to remember. I mean, I've got a younger daughter that can't do any of that stuff. And so I thank him each and every day when I see those young people and realize, that God has blessed them with talents. And I want them to use those talents to the very best of their ability. And at the end of the day, know that there is no excuse and that we should always be looking forward and wanting to be a light in a very dark world. And if they walk out of there feeling that way, then so be it.
Well, that's awesome. And I think that's a good place for us to wrap up today. And I will say this, best of luck to you
Thank
and
you.
the Unity Lions coming up this weekend. And we certainly urge everybody that's watching this.
Yeah,
of course,
please.
they may be watching as the pregame. By that point, it may be too late to get over there. But if you're watching this on Thursday afternoon, we certainly would urge you to make your plans to be at the game tomorrow. Support the kids.
Thank you, Matt.
Coosa High School.
Coosa High School, 7:30.
That's right. Unity Christian Lions taking on the Harvester Christian Academy Hawks. And for a semifinal game, an opportunity to play for a championship next weekend.
That's right.
All right. Best of luck to you guys. Thank you for your time, Coach. It's been a pleasure to talk
Thank
to you.
you.
It's going to wrap up the Unity Lions Football Coaches Show with head coach David Humphreys. And with that said, go Lions. So long, everybody.
Thank you for watching this edition of Unity Lions Football Coaches Show with Coach David Humphreys, presented by Unity Christian School and produced by WLAQ Sports. Go Lions!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coosa Valley High School for today's state semifinal game featuring the Harvester Hawks and the Unity Christian Lions. As we've got an exciting semifinal matchup here today, Harvester advancing after beating their opponent last week in overtime in order to get here. Unity Christian coming off that bye week. I'm Derek Black here with Aaron Urson on the call tonight. And Aaron, we've got ourselves a good one here tonight.
Oh yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Like you said, you have Unity coming off of a bye week, and you have Harvester, who really went in a nail biter on the last play, essentially, as we spoke to head coach Nelson before the game. So it'll be interesting to see, does Unity come out slow? Does Harvester come out fast? We'll see how the two teams come into this one after a week of preparation. Talked to head coach David Humphreys for Unity before the game, and he spoke about how the guys have had a great week of preparation and practice. So we'll see if that carries into today.
Absolutely. Coming off the bye week, your concern is always how your guys are going to be able to react to being back at game speed. You can never really fully replicate that game speed in practice, but they'll have to tonight as Harvester coming in hot off of that overtime win last week, winning off of a 2-point conversion, dive for the pylon in dramatic fashion in order to advance. And these are two teams that have already played each other once tonight.
Yeah, they've already played once this season, and Unity handled that one pretty handedly, 60-22, and Unity's undefeated this year, so they're the big dogs coming into this one. Harvester, kind of the underdog coming into it, but they're going to have it on their mind to come in and make this a good ball game, and that's what we expect tonight.
Absolutely. as we take a look at some of the players to watch for these games here tonight. Aaron, what do you have for that?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Unity's throughout the year, it's been Miles Schwartz getting it done at the quarterback position. He has 1,037 yards, 20 passing touchdowns, threw his first interception of the year last week, which is phenomenal, especially for a first-year quarterback. He completes 55% of his passes, so he's extremely accurate. He's got multiple 60-plus yard touchdown passes, and it's another thing we spoke to head coach David Humphreys about before the game. He was speaking about how they're able to rip off these explosive plays just so effortlessly that it kind of puts pressure on their defense, having to come right back out on the field. And then you go down and you look at Andrea Sawyer, his favorite target, 11 catches for 372 yards on the year and 9 total touchdowns. He has elite speed in the open field. If they're able to get him involved on the outside, there's not really anyone who's going to be able to stop him one-on-one. So we'll see how involved he is early on in this ball game. And then you look at Tyler Ford, and I believe he's the difference maker in this one. He's kind of their workhorse slot back, as Coach Humphrey said. Going into this one, their running back plays more of an offensive guard role, and it's more of the slot backs like Tyler Ford who are going to come in and carry the ball at a high level.
It's actually, I hate to say this, but
again, Sawyer
there's a sense of pride
been the best
you feel like
receiver on the field. Also,
they
really
realize that the only
contributes
way
as a
we're going to get
defensive
the
back
passes
as
we
well.
want
On the other side of the ball, has 5 interceptions, 38 total tackles as a corner. He's actually ranked 5th nationally in average punt return yards. He's had, I believe, 12, punt returns or kick returns touchdowns that were called back due to penalties. So this kid has a lot of explosiveness in special teams.
As we'll take a break here to bring you the national anthem and get right back for the Harvester Christian Hawks players to watch.
Hi, I'm Karen Murdoch. I've been teaching at Unity for 23 years. Now I teach pre-K4. They are excited about learning. The excitement in their eyes is just unbelievable. Some of them need the hands-on. Some of them just like to work problems out. Some of them even have that critical thinking at this age, and we develop that. We talk a lot about the Bible in our classroom. A lot of books you read, you could bring out the biblical worldview. Even for these little ones, they know there's one God and 3 parts to God. When I was teaching sorting, I taught them that God sorted the world into sections. He made the land and the oceans and the animals. That's how I teach, a biblical worldview. Unless they have a Bible-based foundation, they're not going to succeed in life. They might succeed in the world, but they won't really succeed in knowing Christ. And the most important thing is to pray for these kids. Pray that they will grow up and learn biblical characteristics and Bible character. Even when we are talking to kids about maybe they've done something that they shouldn't have done, we share Christ. And the main thing is we ask them, how do you think that the Lord Jesus would feel right now if you and they're able to tell you. And it's amazing how these kids learn verses, and that's the main thing I care about teaching them is their Bible. Because I love it here. This place it's not just a school, it's a family. I love the students. God just put it in my heart, and I was just born to teach. I believe that. I believe that there's no greater calling. I could go on and on about how Unity was there in my life when my son had liver disease, and Unity was just here. I mean, supporting in every way. And they, not just me, but they do it for everybody. Everyone that has any kind of situation. It's unbelievable. It's more than just a school. It is a family, a true family. People ask me when I'm going to retire, and I don't know if I'm ever going to retire. I have a prayer book, and I put that group of students in my book, and every month I pray for a group of students that I have taught, and I will until the day I go to be with the Lord.
as we come back here to Coosa Valley High School, getting ready for today's semifinal matchup. We'll take a look at some key players for the Harvester Christian Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and you don't have to go any further than looking at the spoon that stirs the Hawks' coffee in Aubrey Young. I mean, number 8, he has breakaway speeds, something that you will never see at pretty much any other level. The guy's electric. If he's able to find in reverse field, it's going to be tough for Unity to keep up with him. He has 739 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 10 on the ground, 12 through the air, so 22 total, and he's 48 of 77 completions-wise, and man, he's a guy that can really hurt you. If you look at just his ability to change the game with his speed, the Lions are going to have to stay on his track and really box him in as much as possible to try to limit his production. And then defensively, he also leads the team with 3 interceptions, so just kind of a do-it-all guy for the Hawks. And then you look at his running mate, number 44, Jed Yarnall, 93 rushes for 667 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's just a defensive beast as well. You look at him, he's stout, he's got a great build, and he's a guy that could be playing on Saturdays as well. He has 77 total tackles, and that's good for the lead on the team. And then finally, we circle back to another part of the Young family, Aubrey's twin brother, number 16, Austin Young. He has 74 carries for 488 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he's patient but explosive. He reads blocks really well, and he's able to burst through the hole and make a difference for his team. And he's also second on the team in tackles with 54. So look for him to make an impact on the defensive side of the ball as well. So we've got a good one. We've got a lot of talented ball players in this one, and we'll see how they react to each other and how they feel each other out to start out this game.
Yeah, and like you said, these are two teams that have already met once this regular season. Unity played a good game and was able to get the W 60-22, but Harvester gave them some fits in that game. We heard Coach talk about how it's hard to bring down Jed Yarnell. I mean, like you said, a stout guy, and he said he tried to tackle him too high sometimes, and really going to emphasize getting down low, making tackles in the open field when with so much space out here. That's absolutely going to be key on both sides of the ball defensively. And then special teams for both teams as well. Harvester able to run back the opening kickoff of the game last time for a touchdown when these two teams faced. So just being disciplined in your gaps, being where you're supposed to be, doing your job on special teams is going to be huge.
Yeah, I mean, you look holistically at this season for Unity Christian. I mean, they're outscoring opponents 473-46, right? That is unbelievable. But when you look at it and you dig into it, 22 of those 46 points came from the Harvester Hawks. So it'll be interesting to see how that's going to play into tonight. If the Harvester Hawks try to control the pace a little bit, make Unity have to wait to get the football, or does Harvester come out aggressive and try to speed this one up? We'll see how Unity reacts, though, as obviously they are favored going into this one. But it's going to be an interesting one. And, again, this is a winner-take-all scenario. So I would assume no cards are going to be left on the table for either side in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the winner advances to the state championship game next week, playing the winner of Lafayette Christian and Pinecrest Academy. So like you said, no cards being left on the table, but that last game was early October, so both teams have kind of progressed as the season's gone on, a little bit different looks, as Harvester is going to have to try to mix up the formations a little bit on Unity, and that's something that Coach Humphrey said he was very well aware of, in that they're going to have to remain disciplined on defense.
Yeah, exactly, and they've got to be able to control the game defensively, as I was saying a little bit earlier. And going back to one of their key players, Tyler Ford, heard an interview with Coach Humphreys from earlier on before the season started, and he said this kid can be as good as he wants to be. He's grown 3 inches over the past year, which is ridiculous. Now he's staying 6'2", and again, he's a guy that can just brutalize a defense with his combo of speed and power, and that's just not something that you see a lot at this level. He's got another guy that you really would expect to be playing on Saturdays once his career here at Unity Christian is over.
Yeah, and on the other end, we talked to Coach Matt Nelson before the game for Harvester, and he said he was really pleased with the way his team reacted last week. And we said that if Harvester can keep this close, it's going to favor them, honestly. They've had a lot of experience playing in close games this year, and last week was just yet another example of that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, they played in, I believe, 5 games that were decided by 7 points or fewer. Unity has competed in none so far this season. So if Harvester is able to keep this one close, then theoretically it'd be advantage Harvester. Now, as we said, we haven't had a sample size of any kind for Unity coming into this one, but it'll be interesting to see if this one starts to be close heading into the second half, how the teams react, and it's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. As the captains take the field for both units, we're just a couple minutes away from kickoff as the crowd starts to get a little bit more excited. It's a perfect night for football here in Rome, Georgia. Not a cloud in the sky, right about 55 degrees. Couldn't ask for a whole lot better than this, and a great facility here at Coosa Valley High School as well. As the captains line up, getting ready for the coin toss at midfield. This is a Unity team that has a lot of seniors, including anchoring that offensive line, which has been a lot of the success for this young quarterback, being able to stand behind a veteran offensive line.
Yeah.
And you can see two of them out there right now for the coin toss. And number 73, Davis Blankenship, and number 72, Elliott Whiteside, the two big boys leading the charge up front.
Yeah, and that's something that Coach Humphreys talked about before the game with us as well. He is going to rely on these offensive linemen to create the paths for the running backs and be able to buy as much time as Schwartz needs to be able to create, both with his legs and his arm. And again, another thing that Schwartz can bring to the table, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the pregame, his ability to push the ball down the field. Again, get the ball to your playmakers and let them win the game for you is how Coach Humphreys described it. So if he can do that, manage the game, take what the defense is giving, and then blow it open when it is time to, they will have success tonight.
Absolutely. The other two captains out there for Unity, Landon Grover, number 42, one of those defensive ends that Coach Humphreys raved about, just their tackling ability, able to make plays in open field. And then, of course, Andreas Sawyer, the one we've talked about a lot, who's just going to be a deep threat down the field, going to have to find a way to contain him. As we're under 2 minutes away from kickoff here. As we'll await the results of the toss here.
Yeah, again, Harvester making about an hour and a half drive down from Douglasville, Georgia. So they would be considered the away team in this playoff battle that we were about to experience. And it's just nothing better than some playoff football, some Georgia playoff football in the middle of November. Beautiful night for it. And folks, strap in, buckle up, get you some popcorn, and enjoy this action with us.
As I believe it was Harvester that won the toss, they've elected to defer. As Unity gets ready to take the field here, no matter what happens tonight, it'll be their last home game. As we'll throw it to the national anthem down on the field now. They'll be right back after that.
Thank you.
As we're ready now for Unity to take the field as they line up down in the end zone, ready to take the field for, like I said, no matter what happens, the final time here at home as the Lions fans loud and on their feet supporting their team here tonight.
Yeah, it's always a good atmosphere. Friday night football, nothing like it. And if you're Unity, you've done it all season. 10-0 coming into this one. Finish the job here at home and then get to the state championship and take care of business from there. So these guys are fired up, and I can tell you the boys in white over there, the visitors, are fired up as well in Harvester Christian.
Yeah, you know what they say, sometimes there's nothing scarier than somebody with nothing to lose, and Harvester coming in as the underdog, it can almost see themselves in that situation. Just got to come out here and fight tonight.
Yeah, and they have the horses to do it. I mean, you look at, again, Aubrey Young. He's going to be the guy that it starts and ends with for Harvester. If he can have a good game tonight and be able to distribute the ball, get Jed Yarnall involved early, that's when you can see Harvester kind of settle into their rhythm offensively and cause some problems for this Unity defense.
As it will be Unity's offense on the field first, and it'll be Tyler Ford back deep to receive the kickoff for Unity. Jaden Lepley, the one to kick it away now for Harvester, as we're ready to get things underway here at Coosa High School. As the kick is away, it's a short kick falling right before the 20-yard line. As Ford able to grab it, he's going to run this one. Makes one man miss, weaves through traffic down at the 42-yard line. A good return for Ford.
Yeah, pretty good statement there from Ford to get things started. Again, a physical run, and that's something that Coach Humphreys also had harped on about his game improving so much in this year, is the amount of anger that he runs with in authority, and you see it there.
And we'll get our first look now at Miles Schwartz at quarterback for Unity tonight. Has been phenomenal all season, like we were talking about in the open. As Schwartz in shotgun. Get a man in motion coming across. He'll hand the ball off, looking for the edge. He's got a good block down the sideline. A chunk play to start.
Big time play that time, Isaiah Giddens. He's a guy that we didn't talk about a lot in the pregame, but he is another weapon that Unity has utilized throughout this year, and he gets it done there.
Yeah, almost a 20-yard gain right off the bat for Unity as Giddens gone screaming across the formation. We'll take another look here.
Yeah, just a beautiful jet sweep. You're going to see that a lot out of this Unity offense. And again, the speed from Giddens just too much for the Harvester defense, and a big-time gain on first down.
As Schwartz will shift the formation. He'll get another man in motion. Jet sweep now to the other side. This time it's Ford running it. Ford bounces outside the tackle. Can't bring him down with the first contact. And all of a sudden, Unity's knocking on the door 2 plays in.
Yeah, again, the slot back just playing such a big role here for the Lions. You see Ford this time following a blocker out to the outside, reading it well, and there's just nothing but green grass in front of him. And Ford is just too talented to see that much daylight.
Yeah, Cooper Mathis able to give him the assist, keep him upright for a few more yards at the end of that run. And Unity will have it on the 12-yard line, and Schwartz hasn't even had to throw a pass yet.
Yeah. And that's impressive from the Lions, again, after a week off, coming out with this much intensity. As Cooper Mathis is in the backfield with Schwartz again. The running back in this offense plays more of an offensive guard role, as Coach Humphreys alluded to, as we'll get a stoppage in play.
There's a injured Hawk down on the field as they'll take a look to tend to him. But like you said, the running back kind of playing more of that offensive guard role. Yep. And Coach said that he knows he can trust his guy to protect his quarterback, and that's been a big part of their success this year.
Yeah, and that's something that we're honestly starting to see more and more in football, is the running back becoming more of a blocker for the quarterback, with the quarterback in today's game emerging as more of a runner. You have to have a back there that can go out and make key blocks to open up the field for them. We see that a lot over at Berry College with their red zone quarterback, Andrew Hunter. And again, still tending to the Hawk, who is down.
As we'll take a 30-second break and let them tend to the Hawk and be right back after the break. back after the break as Unity in the red zone right at the 11-yard line after 2 plays from scrimmage, including a big kickoff return from Ford to open things up here in the first quarter of play.
Yeah, and that Hawk that was down, I believe that was Jaden Lepwe. He was able to make it off the field under his own power, so that's good to see.
As Schwartz takes this one himself, running between tackles, drags a pile of Hawks, and they'll say he's in for the touchdown.
Big time run that time. Schwartz running with a little bit of decisiveness and some conviction that time from the quarterback.
Schwartz calls his own number, able to put the Lions on the board first here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, and they had showed the smoke and mirrors early on with the jet sweeps from Giddens and Ford. Now you just switch it up and run old school QB power with Schwartz and get yourself a touchdown.
As Giddens knocks through the extra point, so Unity jumps out to a 7-0 lead this time. As they're able to get on the board first, we'll take another look as Schwartz is able to run right through the tackles there, drags a couple with him in order to break the plane.
Yeah, and you don't run a play like that unless you have supreme confidence in the big boys up front. As now it's going to be Harvester that's going to need to respond in a big way here against Unity because, again, you give up a touchdown and then you go down and go 3 and out or turn the ball over. That gives all the momentum to the home team in front of their home crowd. So Harvester with a big drive here.
Yeah, it doesn't give a lot of rest to your defense either if either one of those happens. You're looking for a nice, long, sustained drive. Give some of your D guys a rest.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talked about off air a little bit pregame, Derek, is Harvester can score. It's no question about that. But if you're scoring extremely quick, you're bringing that Unity offense right back onto the field. So if you're Coach Nelson, do you look to be more methodical in your attack down the field as we'll see a squib kick? That's something that Unity has done all year.
Yeah, low kickoff fielded now by Randon as he's brought down in a hurry inside the 20-yard line. Excellent kickoff coverage there by the Lions.
And again, a nice job. They do not normally win this game or lose this game for the Harvester Hawks. Everything starts and ends with number 8 at the quarterback position.
So he'll send his brother in motion, a quick out to Austin Young as he runs down the sideline, good enough to pick up the first down, and a good chunk play there for the Hawks.
Yeah, good chemistry on that one. Little screen pass to the outside, easy pitch and catch between the twin brothers, and I believe they probably drawn that up a couple times in practice, if I do say so myself. So nice connection to try to get the pass game going here for the Hawks.
Yeah, I'm talking with Coach Humphreys before the game for Unity. He said he's super proud of his defense, giving up 4.6 points a game on defense. And like you said, 22 of those were against Harvester last time, so they know they'll have their work cut out for them. As Young takes the handoff, or he'll take it himself and immediately gets blown up there in the backfield. Believe that was Cooper Mathis on the hit. As we'll take another look at that one, just nowhere for Aubrey Young to go.
Yeah, and in 9-man football, you're going to see a lot of one-on-one tackle situations where you just have to go mano-a-mano and be better than your opponent, and Mathis does just that.
As this linebacking core for Unity has been the strength of their defense this year and has really been able to diagnose and get things done. So second down, they'll lose a yard on that play, Harvester will. This time, Aubrey Young's got some room to run, makes it third down and manageable. It might be enough for a first, as they will move the chains.
Yeah, nice strong run from Young that time. Again, running him in between the tackles right now. He can be electric between the tackles, but where you're really going to see him start to weigh down on this Unity defense is when he's able to get to the outside and use that electric speed to try to run by people.
As there is some question about the spot of this ball, Coach Humphreys seemed to think there was some confusion. The ball spotted 2 yards before the first down marker.
Yeah.
And the line judge told him to move the chains. So we'll see. They'll talk about this as a crew.
Yeah, I believe there was some confusion among the chain gang as well, as they didn't move until a couple of seconds after the play was over. A little bit of confusion on all fronts here, so we'll see if they can sort it out and come out with a verdict. But, yeah, a decisive drive from Unity to start this ball game off. Exactly what you wanted to see if your Coach Humphreys coming out in this one. A little bit of everything in that drive. You went to the left with Giddens, then you went to the right with your jet sweep with Ford, and then pretty much just capped it off with a little bit of a statement run from your quarterback, Miles Schwartz. So nice drive from Unity, and we're seeing the offensive firepower of Harvester early on in this one as well, led by none other than Aubrey Young. But a lot of confusion this early on in the game with the chains, as they will bring them back, it looks like.
Yeah, they will say it's going to be 3rd down and about a yard, which is what I thought initially. So we'll see if the Unity defense can get off the field here. 3rd down and 1. Gotta imagine it's going to be Aubrey Young coming right at you.
Yeah, and this is a big 3rd down here for the Hawks. Like we said, if you get stuck in a 4th down situation against this Unity defense, that's going to be tough to overcome. Got to stay ahead of the sticks here if you're Young.
So Young will be under center, and he'll go straight at them. Unity ready for it, as that was William Wilson getting in the backfield, getting active and making the tackle.
Boy, I tell you, William Wilson was shot out of a cannon on that one. Big-time play, and now it's going to be a 4th down here for Young. We'll see what they do. If they try to stay in between the tackles or try to bounce something to the outside. If I was a betting man, I would say he's going to try to bounce it to the outside after that play.
Yeah, it looked like Wilson basically knew the play. He was in the gap before Young was. As this time it's Jed Yarnell lining up, taking the snap at quarterback, and he rumbles forward to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Yarnell, a guy, that's got to be the guy who receives the ball in a 3rd and short or 4th and short situation. Not many people are going to be able to bring him down within a short proximity of a 1st down marker, and you see just how powerful he is there.
Absolutely. That's the first touch Yarnell's gotten today. One of our key players. So that'll be good enough for a 1st down at the 46-yard line, the spot will be at. So Harvester, like we said, moving down a little bit more methodical than we saw at Unity. Not a lot of chunk plays. Just 3 yards in a cloud of dust. As this time, they're ready for Yarnall.
Yeah, nice job by Unity again. I believe that might have been, that was Elliott Whiteside that time, the first to the ball for the tackle. And again, the interior of this defensive line for Unity is showing that they got some power up front. They're going to be tough to move.
So no gain on the play for Harvester. As Yarnall in the backfield behind Young. He'll get the handoff. Still on his feet, but gets dragged back for a loss of 1.
That was a nice job again. I believe that was Wilson. Well, yeah, again, William Wilson making his presence known early on in this one. He is just a junior, so he'll have another year here with the Lions.
Yeah, he's a guy who's got over 100 total tackles this year.
Yeah. And
just flies all over the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that came into this program running a 5.2. Want to know what he runs now? A 4.6. So the guy has improved tremendously throughout his career as a Lion.
A little bit of trickery here as Young gets the end around. Looked like he was going to have a lane, but those lanes converged real fast there on the outside. Not a lot of room for Aubrey Young. He'll get a gain of about 2 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice creative call that time from Coach Nelson, but just the down and distance, just tough for him to be able to come up with. And now it's a 4th down. And now what do you do if you're Coach Nelson? Do you kick it away, or do you try to go for it here with the ball near midfield?
Yeah, it looks like the offense is staying on and that they're going to go for it. I mean, it's 4th and 9. We haven't seen them pick up a lot of chunk yardage here tonight. So this will be a challenge for them, but if they get it, could be a big turning point for them early on.
Yeah, Aubrey Young, no slouch, throwing the football. 739 passing yards coming into this one, and 12 touchdowns through the air. And wow.
As a delay a game called on the field, so it'll make the 4th down try much harder now for Harvester, pardon me.
Yeah, it's going to be, now they just kind of have to trudge the ball down the field as much. And now you're really just playing a field position game, as that is not going to help the cause.
As Young just has to fall on the snap way to his right. Couldn't handle the snap. And it'll be a turnover on down. Unity takes over with excellent field position at the 35-yard line.
And that's a tough break. Honestly, like I said, you're playing a field position game. You're trying to get as many yards as you can to make things tough on the Unity offense. Not really looking for a first down. But that, as I said, it's not helping the cause.
No, as Bo Matson was coming in a hurry. One of the tight ends for Unity also plays on the other side of the ball, and Young falling on that likely prevented a scoop and score, so at least through that.
Yeah.
But you just had 2 back-to-back errors with the delay of game, then into the bad snap. Just not an ideal first drive there for Harvester. As there seems to be some confusion over there on the Harvester sideline.
Yeah, trying to see what this is pertaining to as we get a look at the Unity cheerleading squad out in full effect tonight for the Lions. And we'll Sweet Caroline blaring through the speakers as we'll get some type of explanation from the officials, I would assume, or
don't think so.
We would just continue play. But
ready to resume play. Schwartz will take the snap. Shifts the formation there. Schwartz now bobbles the snap. He just has to fall on it as he lost it there for a second underneath his feet as we see 2 bad snaps in a row.
Yeah, and you got to believe that possibly a little bit of jitters, knowing that the game, this game is going to predicate who goes to the state championship. That's a lot weighing on you, especially if you're a first-year quarterback like Schwartz. So both teams maybe feeling a little bit of jitters, even though they had that first drive, still trying to adjust to the intensity that this game is going to bring out.
As Schwartz looking to throw for the first time, he'll find his target as he'll pick up about 4 yards.
And a nice tackle that time by the do-it-all man, Aubrey Young, coming up, taking the legs out from Sawyer, I believe that was, for a big-time tackle.
So able to get it in the hands of Sawyer there, as it looks like we'll get our first time out of the game, as we'll take one as well and be right back for this 3rd down. Coming back here for the 3rd down attempt by Unity. We've heard and seen throughout the season they've become more of a vertical threat team, but we haven't seen that much tonight. probably a good time to break it out for the first time here, but 3rd and about 14.
Yeah, but if you're Schwartz, you also don't want to turn the ball over in this situation. It looks like we're going to get a false start call, or excuse me, it's going to be a timeout for Unity. But, yeah, this is one of those situations where, as we talked to Coach Humphreys before the game about, you can't turn the ball over against this team. That's one of the ways that Harvester can get some momentum and creep their way into either tying this one up or taking a lead if you're not careful with the football. And that's something that you really want to beat into your quarterback's head right now. Make sure that he is aware of the down and distance, the situation, where his options are, where his second and third reads are, and then that way he has full control of the play and can dot out and throw the ball away if he needs to.
Absolutely. The guy I'm keeping my eye on for this one, Bo Matson, the big tight end, standing at 6'5" as a freshman.
Yeah, unbelievable size for this kid, and unbelievable build as well. You know, a lot of kids, when they come into 8th or 9th grade and they're that tall and that big, they're a little bit uncoordinated. But with this kid, he's something special, and he's definitely going to have a career going beyond high school once he gets to that point.
Schwartz looks for a receiver and has Sawyer, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. Gets him about 9 yards away, and another interesting decision coming up if you're going to kick this one away or go for it on about 4th and 9.
Yeah, but how about the high point that time from Sawyer? Able to get away from his defender, get those hands high, use that 6'2" frame to go up and get that ball through some contact, and kind of sets up a more manageable 4th down for Unity.
Yeah, obviously just such strong hands, able to, like you said, just go up and get that and bring it down through some contact and just pick up some yardage here. Puts you a little bit more manageable. Still not ideal being 4th and 9.
Unity sending 3 in motion this time, so trips at the top of your screen, 2 at the bottom, and Coach Nelson doesn't really like what he sees, so he'll take. As we're getting a stoppage, that delay of game actually is going to be a delay of game on the Lions, and they're going to flip their strategy a little bit and opt to go with the special teams unit and try to. Well, it looks like it's going to be still going to go for it on 4th down here. So we'll see what they draw up, or if they're going to punt it away. I think Harvester is as confused as we are.
It will be a punt, and a good one at that. Takes a good Unity bounce inside the 5-yard line, and a great punt off the foot of Isaiah Giddens.
What a job by Giddens that time, able to put some backspin on that one. Got it all the way within nearly the 5-yard line. Actually will be exactly the 5-yard line is where this drive will start for Aubrey Young and the Hawks. But a big-time stop that time by the Hawks, coming out after that fumble on 4th down, being able to pick up a stop, get the ball back in the hands of your all-everything quarterback, Aubrey Young, and we'll see what he can do coming basically out of his own end zone.
Yeah, and this is an opportunity for your linebackers that have been ultra aggressive to get after the quarterback on this one with them backed up to the goal line and see if you can at least force a punt, you get good field position, or get them in the end zone. As Aubrey Young takes the snap with his heels on the end zone here. He'll try to run up the middle, reverse his field. He's got room to run, makes another one miss, and gives him some breathing room out to the 12-yard line there. As Unity luckily wraps up the ankles. Otherwise, Young had a lot of room to run.
Yeah, and that's the trade-off that you experience when you load the box in 9-man football, is that a guy like Aubrey Young, if he's able to make 1 or 2 miss, there's going to be a whole lot of green that he's looking at running full speed down the field. But a nice job by Unity containing him enough to set up a 2nd down.
2nd down and 4 for Harvester, but more importantly, a lot more breathing room away from your own end zone. As a big shift here.
Well, butter huddle action.
It'll be a quick throw out, but Yarnall can't haul it in.
Yeah, it looked like Unity was all over it as well. A nice adjustment for them. I'm not sure if they practiced that going against that formation throughout the week, but looked like they had diagnosed it and were ready to make the play, even if Yarnall was able to come up with that catch.
So another big 3rd down here deep in their own territory. Harvester's got their work cut out for them with this. As we'll see what type of play call we get here. Gotta imagine it's going in the hands of one of your big playmakers here and trying to get them in as much open field as possible. As it'll be Young trying to weave between tackles, but nowhere to go. He'll pick up maybe half a yard.
Big time play again by this defensive front of Unity.
You can see just nowhere to go on the replay here. A swarm of Lions able to get there.
Yeah, that time Joel Sims coming up with a big play again. You don't see that a lot at this level, being able to make plays at the first level at the line of scrimmage and not allowing ball carriers to be able to get to the second or third level. And now a pivotal 4th down coming up for Harvester.
As they're going to go for it, Yarnall running, and he's going to have enough to move the chains, it looks like. A big play there for the Hawks, able to pick up the first down on the ground with their workhorse.
Yeah, look at Yarnall finding a little bit of space, taking some contact. Again, he has great contact balance, able to fall forward for that first down. A nice job from the senior.
And a great block on the outside there by Aubrey Young, the quarterback, who was out on the edge and picked up a big block, able to clear the pathway for Yarnall. So they keep this drive alive with a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. Now from the 15-yard line.
They had to have that one deep in their own territory. We'll see if we see a little trickery here, a swing pass to the outside, but again, Unity is all over.
And it seems like every time a Harvester player goes down, there's at least 4 or 5 Unity defensive players in the area.
Yeah.
Even if the first one misses the tackle, you've got to get by 4 others.
Yeah, exactly. Looked like Tate Beasley was out there covering and containing, as well as number 26, trying to get that name for you, Blake Hall, out there covering and setting the edge for this Unity defense. A beautiful job by them, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, so we'll take about a 1-minute break here at the end of the first quarter as Unity on top 7-0 after 1. As we're back ready to start the second quarter of action, as Harvester able to pick up a big 4th down to keep the drive alive and give them a fresh set, but then find themselves right back behind the chain. 2nd down and 14 now, backed up on their own 12-yard line still.
Yeah, and as we were saying during the break, I would love to see them try to get Jed Yarnall involved a little bit more in 1st and 2nd down. They've been going to him on 4th down, but I'd love to see the big man get some touches on 1st and 2nd down to kind of settle the series, if you will, as that's a pretty nice ball, but it's picked off.
A big interception there. Andreo Sawyer able to high point that one as the 6'2 senior comes down with the ball, and Unity has got it right back in good field position.
That is just a big-time play from Sawyer. Kind of a lollipop that time from Young. Had a lot of time in the air. And again, when you got a 6'2 corner out there, not much a wide receiver is going to be able to do trying to high point that ball. And again, Sawyer playing receiver. He has pretty good hands himself.
Yeah, oftentimes you see some of those defensive backs, maybe they're playing defensive back for a reason, but Sawyer is not one of them. Sawyer is going to come down with that ball 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
And that's when you've just got to be a little bit more aware if you're Aubrey Young, as Schwartz will hand this one off to start. Unity's got room to run, as they might get points here. Dragged down at the 4-yard line. An excellent run there. Michael Ferguson takes it.
And Unity is just getting everybody involved offensively, really spreading the ball out, keeping their legs fresh, more importantly, as their playmakers kind of get to rest. It's like, you take your turn, I'll take my turn, the next person takes their turn, and we'll do it that way. So a party going on in the backfield here for Unity as everyone getting a touch.
Yeah, really just showcasing that outside speed right now. On a bunch of plays early on in this one, we saw that first drive. One of them as Schwartz weaving his way into the end zone as Unity gets their second touchdown of the night to go up 13-0. Schwartz able to take advantage of the turnover.
Yeah, Miles Schwartz that time just knew exactly where he wanted to go, trusted his offensive line to create the hole, and then he just went straight through it for the touchdown. And again, Unity starting to get rolling here offensively.
13-0 lead pending the extra point. As coming in today, Unity plus 20 in turnovers. And that we said that was going to be one of the keys to the game. On the other side is limiting turnovers. You give them the ball for free, they're going to make you pay.
Yep, exactly. And now if you're Coach Nelson, what can you draw up to kind of get this Unity defense off their pivot a little bit, as we'll take another look at the touchdown. Just beautifully blocked up by the Unity offensive line. Just read his gaps beautifully, did Schwartz, and just walked into the end zone, almost stumbled past his own player on the way in. But now, if you're Coach Nelson, what can you draw up to get this Unity defense off of their pivot a little bit, make them have to react to what you're doing offensively? Because right now it feels like the Unity defense is controlling this ball game.
Yeah, they've been flying around the field like we said, just haven't really had an answer, as they've gotten a bunch of tackles for loss to open things up. As now you've got to come away with something on this drive, as Unity's got a 14-point lead. We said you got to keep it within striking distance, and that's a big time to do it right now.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talked about in the game open, is that Harvester Christian has an abundance of experience playing in close games. But obviously, when you fall behind against a team the caliber of Unity Christian, it's going to be tough to be able to mount a comeback. But if you can keep within 7 to 10 points throughout the game, then you give yourself a chance at the end to be able to make a couple of unbelievable plays, as we'll see another squib kick.
Yeah, the second time just having a little bit of trouble handling it at first. This time, a better return there. Randone able to bring it out to about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, nice job by him running physical that time, not allowing the Unity cover team to come down and make the play. Now, if you're Aubrey Young, what's going through your mind as far as how can you set up this team to be able to push the ball downfield? A lot of these runs have been going in between the tackles for Young. I would love to see him have an opportunity to try to run it out on the outside and maybe use Jed Yarnall a little bit more on first and second down.
As a quick screen pass, nowhere to go. Might have been better off dropping that one, as they flock to Austin Young in a hurry.
Yeah, another screen pass this time. And again, Unity has just been all over these screen passes. And just what a play and a diagnosis that time. I believe it was none other than number 20, Williams, coming up. That's William Wilson, I should say, coming up with a big tackle for loss.
And Cooper Mathis, without an initial pressure off that line of scrimmage, kind of hurried up the throw a little bit, as Yarnall will take the snap in a Wildcat-esque formation and hand it off now to Young, who will throw downfield. as it was lucky that that ball was tipped because Sawyer almost had his second interception of the game.
Yeah, that was a big-time job by trying to find that number. That was Jaden Lepley able to knock that one away, play some defensive back on offense that time to keep that one away from Sawyer, because if not, Sawyer would have came down with that one and might have had a chance to bring it back to the house.
Yeah, that's another one. You've got to kind of know the scouting report, maybe not throwing jump balls in that area.
Yeah, if I see number one in that area, I'm probably going to throw the other way, if you will. But that was a nicely designed trick play to try to get something going downfield, but the ball has to be put in a position that only your receiver can get to it, and it just wasn't that time from Young.
Another third down and long for Harvester as Young drops back. This pass will fall incomplete just outside the outstretched arms of Jaden Lepley and bring down 4th down and 12. As it looks like the kicker will come onto the field now. It'll be Yarnall, looks like to punt it away with a dangerous Sawyer back to return. Sawyer's going to let this one bounce. Fielded off the hop, and Sawyer's off to the races. Makes one man miss. Down the sideline, still on his feet. As he brings it inside the 20-yard line, a great return there.
Boy, have we been seeing just a clinic being put on by Andreo Sawyer this time. Catching that ball on the run. That is no easy feat to start off that punt return, but he does it, runs straight through the ball, makes a man miss, continues down the sideline, keeps the legs churning, and again, that 6'2" frame is just tough to bring down, running through Hawks on his way down the field.
Yeah, such a physical runner, but also saw him right there, just able to put the brakes on in a hurry, let someone fly right by you, and all of a sudden you're right back at full speed.
Yeah, beautiful change of speed that time from Andreo Sawyer. You do not see that every day.
So more good starting field position for Unity as they'll take a shot downfield, alone in the end zone, overthrown by Schwartz. Was looking down there for Isaiah Giddens. Just couldn't quite connect that time, but the look was there.
Yeah, you talk about the arm talent from Schwartz. He's going to get on this naked bootleg, trying to make something happen downfield, and his arm kind of carried Giddens a little bit too far out to be able to make that play, but a nice effort from Giddens trying to lay out and go full extension for that one, but a missed opportunity for the Lions to put up another 7 points.
Yeah, it's the first real shot we've seen them take downfield too, something they've done so often this year, but really the first time we've seen them throw beyond 10 yards tonight. Unable to connect on that one, but definitely something that they're not afraid to keep trying. This time they do get it to Giddens on a little shovel pass up the middle, good for about 5 yards.
That's a little Patrick Mahomes-esque, if you will. You don't see that often at the high school level, but nice creativity to get some positive yardage that time on the little shovel pass.
Yeah, 3rd down and 5 now after not getting anything on first, able to make it a little bit more manageable there with the 2nd down play call. Schwartz in the backfield by himself. He'll get a man in motion coming across. Handed to him as he reverses fields. Got room to run, gets taken down by the official, it looked like.
Yeah, you don't see that every day, as that was
Jaden Lepley running down the middle. That was Brady King with it. As that official might have saved a touchdown.
Yeah, you do not see that one every day. As we get another look at it, the official just taking him out with the left shoulder. Credit the Zebra with a tackle on that one.
But still an excellent run there by Brady King, as you saw him on that jet sweep looking and all of a sudden reversed back to the short side of the field and had so much room to run there. As Schwartz looking to throw, he'll get it out, and a big tackle on the outside.
Aubrey Young once again making a play on the outside for the Hawks.
Yeah, the quarterback also their leading tackler on the other side of the ball, so just kind of doing it all over the place. That was Brady King again.
Yeah, just the way he's able to fly out to the ball that quickly, especially after playing quarterback for a full series, turning around, coming right back out, and playing defensive back. Just a tremendous job by Young.
So 2nd down and goal now from the 5-yard line. Schwartz awaits the snap. A low snap, but Schwartz able to handle it as he parks the C's. Nobody touches him as he strolls in for another 5-yard rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I saw some Hawks make some business decisions on that one when they saw the big boys up front coming at them full speed and full sprint. And just like you said, parted the Red Sea that time for Schwartz to be able to walk in for his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Yeah, Elliott Whiteside and Davis Blankenship up front, asking how they like their pancakes with or without syrup as they cleared a path there.
Yeah, and they are just dominating the interior of this offensive line to be able to open these holes up for Schwartz. And when they're able to get the ball into the red zone and within 10 yards away, it's pretty much automatic for the Lions.
So another excellent start field position-wise as we get another look at that one there. Just not much you can do about that type of size.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, Unity starting the drive again with some great field position, taking advantage. And now, if you're Harvester, you're looking for anything that can get you going, get a spark of momentum, just something to light a fire underneath your guys in the late part of this 2nd quarter.
Yeah, I mean, with a 21-0 ball game, 8 minutes and 18 seconds left to play in the half, you just got to be able to find a spark offensively, no matter what it is. If it's a 5-10-yard game, to be able to get a drive going, you got to find something that is going to neutralize the depth that this Unity Christian team has. They have so many different playmakers that can come out and make plays on both sides of the ball. It's just going to start to weigh on Harvester as this game goes on. But if they can sustain a strong drive, go down, get points, then you find yourself down 2 scores. And again, that's still considered striking distance, not down 3 scores. But if you can go down and generate some points here, you'll find yourself in a manageable situation with the half winding down.
As well, Harvester will receive the 2nd half kick as well. So a chance to maybe double dip if you can get a nice extended possession here. This kickoff going a little deeper, and it will be a touchback. So brought out to the 25-yard line. Possibly their best starting field position of the day.
Yeah, that time they elect to kick it deep instead of the little squib kick. A nice job being able to get it to the end zone. But again, like you said, the best field position of the day for Harvester, and we'll see what they draw up.
That's the ball on the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 now for Harvester. Aubrey Young seeing if he can command this offense and get him down in the end zone. As he fakes the pitch, he'll run the other way and drag down by the ankles what looked like a promising run for Young.
Guess
ends
who?
up short. Your guy, William Wilson.
Well, I tell you, William Wilson is just such a monster. When he sees a ball carrier get to the 2nd level, they are getting tracked down by number 20 in gray and blue. Big time play from William again, making plays, man. That is terrific.
Yeah, Young looked like he had about the most room he's seen tonight. Thought he was going to be able to break off a chunk play, but all of a sudden, William Wilson's got your ankles and you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
As Young takes the snap on 2nd down. He'll elect to run this one, a little bit more room. Makes one miss, and that looks like it'll be good for a 1st down. A good run there by Aubrey Young.
But you look at how hard Aubrey Young's having to work to be able to pick up positive yardage. And once he gets to that 2nd level, he's being met by guys like Andreo Sawyer, who are literally just waiting on him. Feet planted in athletic stance, ready to make a play. But a nice job by Young, able to make something out of nothing that time and get a new set of downs for his team.
Yeah, so like you said, fresh set downs, 1st down and 10 from the 32-yard line. One of the more promising starts to a drive we've seen tonight for Harvester.
And they just got to find a balance of both run and pass and being able to use their personnel to their advantage.
As Young gets a little shifty there, but only for about a yard.
And again, I'll say it, guess who? William Wilson coming up with another big-time tackle. just head-hunting Young every single time, going around a blocker, shedding that block, getting to the legs, and using his strength to bring him down, setting up still a 2nd and long.
Yeah, they'll give him about a yard on that play. Young had to put on the moves to get that yard, too.
Yeah.
An impressive juke move behind the line of scrimmage, but it yields him only a yard.
Yeah, now his twin brother, Austin Young, will join him in the backfield. We'll see if they try to get him involved.
It'll be a handoff to the other Young, but he'll get right back to the original line of scrimmage, loses a yard, makes it 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, the big man, Elliott Whiteside, that time showing that the majestic bear on the outside can get a little active with the feet, tracking down the ball carrier and bringing him down. A nice job by the big man, Whiteside.
Austin Young, not exactly the easiest guy to bring down either. Another big guy in that backfield to complement Yarnall. As this time Young has to evade some pressure. He's going to try to run on the outside. He might have enough as he gets pushed out of bounds there. A good run there by Aubrey Young. Good enough to move the chains on a big 3rd down and 10 conversion.
Yeah, and that's what you have to look for more if you're Coach Nelson. You got to find a way to get creative and get your quarterback to the outside in space. A couple of naked bootlegs with some smoke and mirrors going the other way, and this is what you're going to get is a foot race between Aubrey Young and the Unity defense, which is what you want if you're Harvester.
Yeah, Aubrey Young is 100% my pick in a foot race here. He's got some speed, as we saw, to get to the outside, able to just turn well, it looks like a pretty easy pursuit into a 1st down run there on 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and he's been doing this all season, playing both sides of the ball, but we'll see how he's able to manage his conditioning throughout this one, having to play both sides and having to play a big role on both sides, pretty much touching the ball or impacting every play of this game.
As he's able to get a yard there, 2nd down and 9. As, like we said a couple times, just that defensive front for Unity doing some great work, some very fast penetration.
Yeah, you'll see the surge going the home team's way every time at the line of scrimmage so far in this one. They are just being physical at the point of attack, using great hand placement to be able to displace the opposing offensive linemen, and it's spelling a disaster for the ball carriers.
There's a little bit of trickery there. Young throwing downfield, but an excellent pass breakup. But a flag down. Blake Hall was the one in coverage. He might have arrived a little bit early.
Yeah, he was looking for Dresden Tolliver that time on that crossing route. A nicely designed play. We'll see what the call is, though.
As it will be pass interference. It'll be a 15-yard pass interference penalty there. We'll take another look at it here as Young able to roll out, get a little bit of time to set his feet on that throw. And what looked like a good breakup there, might have gotten a hand in there early.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been holding the side of Tolliver that time as he was running down the field, and that's a good call by the official. Not a call that you see made a lot, but it's the right call as we're going to get a false start here on Harvester as the wide receivers wanted to go early.
Yeah, Harvester absolutely going to take the yardage any way they can get it as they're gifted 15 but have to go 5 back.
And now, like you said, 4.5 minutes left to play as they'll back it up here for this 1st down play. But if you're Harvester, you have to make something happen here on this drive. It's now or never, right? I mean, you give the ball back to Unity, they go down and score, and it's a 28-0 ball game at halftime. So Harvester has got to find a way to generate some offense. You've seen a little bit of their creativity with getting their quarterback to the outside. This time they're going to go downfield.
And that one almost hauled in through the hands of Jaden Lepley as he made an outstanding adjustment to even get his hands on that ball. tracking that over the shoulder is one of the most difficult things for a receiver to do, and you see him do it so well there, just couldn't quite haul it in.
Yeah, but that was just a beautiful ball from Young. Put it right in the breadbasket, and Lepley knows that one could have been him touching pay dirt if he comes down with it.
Isaiah Giddens, the one in coverage. Another thing we talked with Coach Humphreys before the game, man coverage on the outside was his corners a lot of the time. He trusts them a lot to make plays. And when you have two good ones on the outside, it's very easy to do so. With Brady King on one side, Isaiah Giddens on the other, as that one goes up the middle for a very small gain, gets him a couple yards back, makes it 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, now this is the situation that you wanted to avoid if you're Harvester, but now you got to believe that it's going to be something with Aubrey Young trying to get to the outside and make something happen. That's where we've seen the most success so far this drive. We'll see what Coach Nelson has drawn up.
A little bit more misdirection this time out to Yarnall. Able to drag a man with him. That was just impressive right there. Short of the 1st down, but makes it 4th down and 1, as we'll take another look at this. Yarnall able to just literally drag a defender an extra 3 or 4 yards with him around his ankles.
Yeah, and that's the freshman, Bo Matson, the big 6'5" freshman, trying to hold on for dear life against the big man, Yarnall, the senior. So a nice job by Yarnall, trying to set up 4th and short. We'll see what Unity can do defensively to try to thwart this drive and get it back to their offense.
These 4th down and 1s haven't come easy either today. Harvester's been stuffed a couple times in short yardage situations by this front.
If I had to guess, 44 would be touching the ball in some form or fashion, even though he's lined up as an up back.
Get a shift into formation. It'll be Young taking it himself. He'll surge forward. The ball is out. As the ball came out there, Harvester able to fall on it. They fell on it past the 1st down marker. If it's the original spot, they might not have it. If they ruled a fumble and recovery, they might have it.
Yeah, most definitely. If they rule that a fumble, which they will, and it'll be a 1st down for Harvester.
Not sure if we'll be able to see it on this view. But that ball just kind of leaks out.
Yeah, great awareness by the Harvester offensive lineman that time. That's number 62, trying to get that number
Jordan
for you.
Spalding with the recovery and 1st down.
Yeah, the big man coming up with a big play. We'll see if that galvanizes him on the front line for this Harvester offense, try to create some lanes for his playmakers. But nonetheless, you'll take it any way you can get it.
By far their longest drive of the day today as well, as they're 6 minutes into that one. And that throw just a little bit off the mark, as Young had some pretty instantaneous pressure in his face.
Yeah, it's not one that you want to put your receiver in harm's way with, especially with a big man like that bearing down on you. It was probably wise by the receiver to allow that one to drop.
So 2nd down and 10 from the Unity 28-yard line.
Yeah, and now Harvester has to find a way to be aggressive here on this play and not fall into a 3rd and long, whether it's just giving it to Yarnall, allowing him to fall forward for 3 or 4 yards, or doing this, trying to get him to the outside.
Yeah, Young's going to try to get to the outside, reverses, cuts back, uses his block, gets to about the 25-yard line. So a healthy pickup there to make 3rd down a little bit more manageable, like you said.
You want to know who made that tackle? It's my boy William Wilson coming down once again, and he has just been all over the field. And again, just a junior for this Unity defense, so he will be back for another year next season. But now 3rd down and manageable coming up for Harvester.
We'll see what they have drawn up, see if they can get Young into a little bit of space here and show off that speed. As they will roll him out. He's looking to throw, has a receiver, and it's caught for a 1st down, streaking towards the sideline. Randon Fields.
Big time play for Randon Fields, crossing across the middle, able to beat his defender, and then a beautiful ball that time from Young, putting it on the money. A big 1st down here for Harvester. that clock continues to dwindle. 1:32 left as we speak. We'll see if Harvester can convert something. And again, like you said, try to turn it into 2 for 1 heading into halftime. And they will receive the ball.
As Young not turning this one into anything. He got met in a hurry in the backfield by a number of different Lions. Wow. And that'll be a loss of 6 yards.
Yeah, I think the entire pride got to him that time for these Lions. Everyone, first to him, it looks like was Mathis, but then it was number 26. Blake Hall also in on the stop there, or at least the initial wave of stoppers for the Lions.
As after that one, Harvester going to call a timeout as they're faced with a 2nd and 15 now, trying to, like you said, turn this drive into some sort of points any way they can take it. They took over this drive with about 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Now 1:21 left to play. They've made it as far as they have all night, just looking for anything, and they now put themselves in a little bit more of a hole after that last play.
Yeah, Unity is going to be talking about time and situation. You're up 21-0, 1:21 left. You don't want to allow Harvester to be able to sneak anyone out behind the defense, or you don't want to allow Young to be able to get to the outside and beat one of your defenders and then end up in a foot race with probably the fastest man on the field, Aubrey Young. So those are the two things that I believe Coach Humphreys is probably preaching to his defense not to allow to happen. Keep everything in between the numbers and just attack the football like you have been.
As Harvester's been a little bit better about running some misdirection, just trying to catch Unity off guard this drive. This one, blitzer straight up the middle, and it's intercepted. Unity gets it right back.
Guess who? Guess who?
William Wilson with the interception. I'm not sure what Young was throwing to there, but he had pressure in his face immediately and just had to get rid of that one. Williams in the right spot, get his hands underneath that one, and it's Unity ball with 1:20 left to go in the half.
Yeah, looked like Young saw the pressure coming and was just like, I just need the ball to be anywhere but here. And it ended up in the hands of William Wilson, and now Unity with a chance to put an exclamation point on a big-time half that they put together in this one.
Yeah, turned out he needed to be anywhere but there or in his hands.
Exactly.
As Unity going to get a good run, but likely coming back due to a hold. As that flag came out pretty quickly on the outside. We'll wait the call from our officiating crew here tonight.
As the officials are still convening, we'll finally get the call. It's a holding on Unity.
Yeah, that one came out pretty quick on the outside. The block turned into a hold pretty quickly. We'll take another look at it real quick. It was a good run there on another one of those jet sweeps, just trying to get their playmakers into space. And right there on the outside, you can see just kind of holding on to that was Aubrey Young being held. And the refs all over that one. So first down and about 4, 10 yards from the spot of the penalty. Schwartz bobbles the snap, able to pick it up, still able to get it out. And this might turn into a big play. Down the sideline goes Brady King. He's not going to be caught. But a flag down behind the play. This one might be coming back.
And I believe it is, unless it's a unnecessary roughness call. We'll see what the verdict is, but that could spell disaster for Unity off of what looked like was going to be a 27-0 ball game.
As they've signaled this one is coming back, erases what would have been a 74-yard touchdown. After the play looked like to be broken. I'm not sure what it's on. It was behind the play.
Yeah, again, you see everyone kind of get out of their running lanes, as that play happens, which opens up an easy pitch and catch, would have been a touchdown if it weren't for the penalty.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a wrestling match kind of top left of your screen in that replay. Likely the source of that flag is there's some discussion between the 4 officials, both coaches awaiting an explanation to this one on what could be a huge play in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it completely changes the landscape of the game if this one were to stand. I mean, Unity has a walk-in touchdown, and now Harvester would have had to go back on the offensive trying to get something going with less than 50 seconds to play.
And they'll wave the flag off. It'll be a touchdown for Unity. A 74-yard score. Wow. Brady King the one to get in the end zone. Schwartz the one to recover the broken play and still get it out.
Wow, that's a big-time play again from Schwartz, able to have the wherewithal to overcome the bad snap, pick up the ball, find an open receiver, deliver the ball with accuracy, and a nice job to be able to run along the sideline, use his speed to score the touchdown.
Unity on the scoreboard with 52 seconds left to play. They'll take a 27-0 lead pending the extra point here. As the referee's still talking to the head coach for Harvester at the middle of the field now.
Yeah, you don't see this every day.
Not too happy with the call there. They're lined up for the kick. 2 officials still talking to him literally in the middle of the field right now.
Yeah, they're right around the 40-yard line having a conversation of judicial proportions as head coach Nelson is trying to plead his case, trying to erase that 6 off the board, but it'll stay up there for this Unity crowd, and we'll be awaiting an extra point still.
So a tough break there for Harvester. The interception instantly gets transformed into 6 on the other side of the scoreboard with the 74-yard touchdown as the extra point no good wide left. It'll hold at 27-0 with 52 seconds left to play, and Harvester will have another chance to see if maybe they can make something happen quickly on offense.
Yeah, and this is a situation where if you're Coach Nelson, you don't want to have your quarterback Young come out after playing an entire defensive series and try to wear himself out before the half trying to get something going, but you also don't want to give the ball back to Unity in scoring position. So we'll see how Harvester comes out on this drive and if they're aggressive or if they just try to take a knee and get to the half.
Yeah, the Unity's proven they can score in a hurry, so definitely not wanting to give the ball back to Unity as we'll take another look at the replay. That touchdown just able to go right up the sideline. Brady King was nobody within 40 yards of him by the time he got to the end zone as he turns on the Jets for that one. As the kickoff unit for Unity takes the field once more. They've been busy tonight.
Yeah, as we said, King just in his sophomore year, so he's going to be a guy that is going to make plays for this Unity offense for years to come.
Giddens with the kickoff again for Unity. This one will go a little bit deeper and fall through the back of the end zone. Another touchback there for Giddens, gets it to roll through. And we'll see what Harvester decides to do with short time here.
Yeah, only 52.5 seconds left to play in this first half. Again, you're facing a really tough deficit, 27-0. And they've really missed Drew Nicholson as a wide receiver and a go-to guy for Aubrey Young. And he really can open up the field with his ability to get open and win one-on-one matchups. And without him, that kind of takes away a dimension of this Harvester offense.
As Young looking down the field, has a receiver, easy throw and catch. Randon Fields hauls that one in just past the sticks and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Yeah, that's a beautiful ball from Young. Put it right on the money. Almost had 2 receivers that time. Yarnall was near it as well. And we'll see if Harvester keeps up their aggressiveness now with 47 seconds left to play in the first half.
As Young runs into trouble, rolls out. That one just has to throw away as it was Fields once more streaking into the area but unable to get there, as Young's just been in constant duress tonight, as you can see here on the replay. Just relentless pursuit from that front. Cooper Mathis that time, the one chasing Young. So 40 seconds left to play, 2nd down and 10 now for Harvester.
We'll see if they keep it on the ground or if they still try to go through the air this time with Aubrey Young. Then we'll have 2 receivers up at the top of your screen.
They haven't been able to generate a whole lot of chunk plays tonight, as Young throwing across his body. That time Fields hauls it in just before the 50-yard line. A beautiful throw there by Young across his body, across field.
Yeah, Randon Fields that time just able to beat Andrea Sawyer across the middle as he came in motion, made the double move to the outside, came back inside. Not much Andrea Sawyer can do, and a nice ball that time from Young.
As Young rolls out again, trying to get away from pressure. He's going to take it himself with his legs. Gets brought down, inbounds, keeps the clock moving. And it looks like Harvester's going to call another timeout here to stop the clock, as Young just had to take off on his own on that one. Nowhere really to go, and once more instant pressure via Cooper Mathis flying into the backfield. And then good job keeping him in bounds, William Wilson, with the tackle.
Yeah, again, William Wilson has been all over the field in this one for the Lions. Just every single play, it seems like he has a hand in stopping it. And again, you said Mathis as well. He's been in on a lot of those initial pressures, getting Young off balance. That's made a huge difference for the Unity defense as well. And the crowd has been loving the show.
Yeah, Harvester's going to need to make it 50 yards in 20 seconds. No more timeouts. They haven't, like I said, been able to generate a whole lot of chunk plays up to this point.
And, I mean, without your deep threat, again, number 7, Drew Nicholson, who looks like he's out for the night. Not sure if he's nursing an injury or what, but 28 carries on the year for 350 yards and then 22 catches for 350 yards. So 772 all-purpose yards missing in this ball game for the Harvester Hawks. And he's also a big-time safety valve for the defense. Pretty much any time an opposing player is able to break through the second level, he's trying to track them down, and they're without that tonight are the Hawks.
A little bit of a different formation here, as this time it's Jarnell. He's going to run. He's got plenty of room to do so and gets out of bounds. We've seen them run a very similar play where they hand off to Aubrey Young as Jarnell streaks through the middle on almost like an end around. This time they fake it, and the defense bites on that one, gives Jarnell a little bit of running room.
Yeah, and you just have to be creative. Have a little bit of fun with it. Try to get Unity off their pivot any way you possibly can, because you're not going to be able to run the ball straight up the middle against these guys. They've proven that is not going to work tonight. You've got to be able to get creative just like they did there. Get Yarnall to the outside, throw a little bit of smoke and mirrors in there, and get the defense off balance.
As Young looking deep and a little too deep that time. 6.7 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication that time between Young and his receiver. Looked like Young wanted him to kind of keep that route a little bit more shallow than it was, as his receiver continued to go to the outside, and there was nothing doing that time as Fields kind of rounded off the route too much for Young's liking.
So 6.7 seconds from the 32-yard line. We'll see if Young's going to show off the arm, trying to direct traffic.
Yeah, Harvester looking a little bit unorganized here. We'll see if they're able to get it together. They're going to run a little fake smoke screen action. It's going to be an easy interception this time. Andrea Sawyer, second of the game.
As Sawyer brings it down as time expires and keeps Harvester off the board. It's been all Unity here in the first half, 27-0. As we head into halftime, we'll take a quick break as well and be back for some stats and highlights of this first half.
Scholarship was created by state law. It is an opportunity for individuals and businesses to tell the state where they want their tax dollars to go and what they want to support. And then the Gold Scholarship Program funds financial aid for lower income students to attend a private school in the state of Georgia.
My name is Savannah Elise Cochran, nickname Sunlight. My middle name means consecrated to God.
Educational and academic-wise, she is far superior. And so we went to several other schools trying to figure out where we needed to send her. Unity has provided not just a foundation, but a covering for her to be able to grow and prosper.
So for students, it's helpful in that it provides financial assistance to pay tuition or fees or anything like that.
Your Gold Scholarship funds are not a handout, they're a hand up. It lifts kids up to a place where they may not have had the potential to go before. She is dyslexic. She does have dyslexia. It's not because it was missed by the school. It was because she was so intelligent, she hid it. And we were able to find someone through the resources that she provided that were able to test her, immediately find what she needs, and get her the resources that were available. And it was just immediate.
So it really opens up the door of opportunity for students to receive an excellent education.
I would ask first, what do you want for your child? It has definitely provided ease when it comes to making sure that our children are able to get what they needed through education here at Unity.
I thank you for letting me be at Unity because I love this school. It helped me with a lot of stuff of talking and just having a lot of creativity and imagination and vision.
Thank you so much for your generosity and your contributions to the Gold Scholarship Program.
Back here during halftime, Unity cheerleaders on the field putting on a show for the home crowd here who's loving everything that they've seen tonight, Aaron. It's been all Unity in the first half. What's kind of gone right for them so far?
Everything. Everything's gone right from the opening kickoff. They've controlled the pulse of this game. They haven't allowed Harvester any breathing room offensively. You know, like we said coming into this game, it was going to have to be the speed of Aubrey Young for Harvester that was going to make the difference. Unity has simply said no throughout this ballgame. They have packed the box, and their big men up front have made a huge difference defensively in creating an initial surge that just does not allow for Young to be able to get his legs churning and for him to be able to find any daylight. And that's been the difference in this one. And then the offense has also been hitting on all cylinders, primarily because of the command of Miles Schwartz being able to get his puppies in order throughout the game. And again, a 27-0 lead here for the Unity Lions. Exactly what you wanted to see if you're head coach David Humphreys.
Yeah, and for Harvester, the one kind of productive drive we saw ended with an interception in the red zone. Just a mistake you can't really make at that area of the field. Have to walk away with points at that end. And then ultimately turned into 6, going the other way with a 74-yard touchdown pass via Miles Schwartz. As, like you said, all Unity so far, and it's really been the defense that's been, I think, the most impressive so far. We talked with Coach before the game, David Humphreys, and in the pregame show, he said he tempts his defense every game with a shutout. If they get the shutout, they get donuts, and they might be smelling some donuts tonight.
Yeah, they can smell the Krispy Kreme from a mile away, and I tell you, somebody who's going to be leading them to those donuts is going to be our boy, William Wilson, number 20. He has been tremendous. He came down with that interception, that drive-stopping interception that really kept the game in Unity's favor, didn't allow the momentum to shift. But not only that, he has been all over the field, making play after play after play out of the linebacking core for Unity. So he's been the guy defensively. And then again, like we said, offensively, Miles Schwartz has just kind of weathered the storm, made the right play throughout this ball game, and that's what Coach Humphreys wanted going into this one. He didn't want his young quarterback to come in and feel like he had to force things, and the young quarterback has responded in a great way. And yeah, going into this season, there were some questions as far as how Miles Schwartz would settle into his starting quarterback role with the departure of Evan Whiteside, who was their previous quarterback. he's come in and just settled tremendously into his role. Again, 1,037 plus passing yards coming into this one, and 20 passing touchdowns coming in. Again, just had his first interception in their last ball game of the regular season, had that bye week coming into this game. And he's just continued to show that he is going to be the quarterback of the future for for Unity Christian. And he's just been tremendous to watch him make decisions, be decisive with the football, and just find his way to the end zone and cap drives off with that QB power that we've seen so many times. And for Harvester, they just have to be able to find a defensive spark. If they're going to be able to claw their way back into this ball game, it's going to have to start with the big boys up front. They're going to have to adjust and be able to counter what Unity has done so far in this ball game as far as the line of scrimmage goes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been that surge at the line of scrimmage that's really been the difference on offense and on defense for Unity. Able to apply some pressure to Aubrey Young in a hurry on defense. And then offensively, we've seen the big guys up front just get after it, clearing lane after lane for their quarterback and running back. And they've absolutely made the most of their opportunity here tonight. And it's retreated to another football game down on the field. Some students getting after it here tonight.
And also a special shout out to our Northwest Georgia media crew, taking care of business up top with the cameras tonight, getting us some beautiful angles as you've seen throughout this ball game. So shout out to them for getting this one on camera for us. And now we look at this makeshift football game as we got some young kids out in some pennies and some different colored pennies trying to get something going here with a little. Not sure what this is, but it's entertaining, and we're loving it.
Yeah, and with that, we'll go and take a 4.5-minute commercial. Be right back after that to take a look at some replays from the first half.
Hello, my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performing school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org. And your child could receive a scholarship of up to $6,500 to go towards school tuition every year until they graduate from high school. This is a wonderful opportunity that is allowing families to finally have the freedom to choose which school their child attends. A private Christian education may now be within your reach. Please visit their website today and see if you qualify for the Georgia Promise Scholarship.
Hi, I'm Karen Murdoch. I've been teaching at Unity for 23 years. Now I teach pre-K4. They are excited about learning. The excitement in their eyes is just unbelievable. Some of them need the hands-on. Some of them just like to work problems out. Some of them even have that critical thinking at this age, and we develop that. We talk a lot about the Bible in our classroom. A lot of books you read, you could bring out the biblical worldview. Even for these little ones, they know there's one God and three parts to God. When I was teaching sorting, I taught them that God sorted the world into sections. He made the land and the oceans and the animals. That's how I teach, a biblical worldview. Unless they have a Bible-based foundation, they're not going to succeed in life. They might succeed in the world, but they won't really succeed in knowing Christ. And the most important thing is to pray for these kids. Pray that they will grow up and learn biblical characteristics and Bible character. Even when we are talking to kids about maybe they've done something that they shouldn't have done, we share Christ. And the main thing is we ask them, how do you think that the Lord Jesus would feel right now if you know. And they're able to tell you. And it's amazing how these kids learn verses. And that's the main thing I care about teaching them is their Bible. Because I love it here. This place it's not just a school, it's a family. I love the students. God just put it in my heart, and I was just born to teach. I believe that. I believe that there's no greater calling. I could go on and on about how Unity was there in my life when my son had liver disease, and Unity was just here. I mean, supporting in every way. And they, not just me, but they do it for everybody, everyone that has any kind of situation. It's unbelievable. It's more than just a school. It is a family, a true family. People ask me when I'm going to retire, and I don't know if I'm ever going to retire. I have a prayer book, and I put that group of students in my book, and every month I pray for a group of students that I have taught, and I will until the day I go to be with the Lord.
Welcome back here to Coosa High School as we've got one half down in the state semifinal here as Unity Christian in full control, 27-0 as we take a look at some highlights here for the first half.
Yeah, you're going to see this jet sweep. This is what Unity loves to go to offensively. Isaiah Giddens on the first play from scrimmage, able to get to the outside and create some positive offensive production early on.
Yeah, kind of set the tone going forward. That first offensive drive, a couple chunk plays there in a row to get the party started. And ever since then, it's been rolling downhill for Unity, just snowballing and snowballing, building off what they do each drive. And there it goes the other way now to Tyler Ford, the one able to bounce it outside, get some help from a blocker. And that was back-to-back plays, getting chunk yardage, winning the line of scrimmage, being able to run the ball as Schwartz able to punch it in on the third play for a touchdown.
Yeah, and you just look at that balance. Able to get three of your skilled players involved without wearing them out, trying to push the ball down the field, and that's kind of been the difference. And look at the kickoff coverage unit of Unity, again, just shining throughout this ball game. And then the defense has just been terrific, especially the big boys up front. The linebackers have been everywhere. This time we see Aubrey Young getting loose. It's been really tough for him to find daylight in this one, but there he does. And on this one, it was a little bit of a trick play, trying to get the ball to Young as he was able to get to the outside. But again, Unity all over it. It's been the story of the ball game. It's like Unity has the play call themselves on the other side of the ball. And this one, a nice high point from Andreo Sawyer, able to go up and get it. Yeah.
And this one just nowhere to go for Aubrey Young. Kind of the story of tonight. Every time he makes one guy miss, there's another one waiting for him on the other end. And just hard for this Harvester team to get loose, even for Jed Yarnall, one of their best runners.
Yeah, now you see just, like I said, the balance of this offense, able to get so many guys involved. This time, Brady King finding the edge to set up a 1st and goal for the Lions, and then we know what's coming from there. It's Miles Schwartz following his blockers all the way in, almost untouched until he touched pay dirt. And now, just again, the defensive pressure. That time, Mathis able to put the pressure on, and then Wilson finishing it off. And now this play was one of the best of the half. The punt return from Andreo Sawyer ran straight through a bouncing ball. You see the change of direction in the physicality of the senior. 6'2", just a physical run and a big-time return, and that set up another beautiful play. But that time it was Young coming up and making a big play of his own defensively, but it was to no avail as Miles Schwartz was able to come back and pick up a snap and run straight through the heart of the Hawk defense. And yeah, it's just been tough for the Hawks to really get going offensively throughout this ballgame. They're going to have to find some type of rhythm, whether it's like we saw at the end of the first half, trying to get Aubrey Young to the outside and force the Unity linebackers to have to chase him outside of the numbers. That's where they saw the most success. They're going to have to try to continue to set that type of play pattern up here if they want to get back into this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them almost mimic what Unity's lined up in a lot of times with a little bit of a tighter formation. Give yourself room to the outside to have some space, run away. As right now it seems like every time Aubrey tries to kind of run to the outside, he's got two guys out there already because he's lining up two receivers out wide. And so I think shifting to that kind of condenses the formation a little bit more, gives them a little bit more room to run. As this was the 74-yard touchdown, we saw the broken play as Schwartz fumbles it, picks it up, and able to dish it right back outside to Brady King. He'll streak down the sideline and punch that one in for 6. They would miss the extra point until we get at 27 here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a test of will here in the second half for Harvester to be able to muster up the grit and honestly just the flat-out conditioning to be able to come out here in the second half and put together a good ball game. Try to give yourself a chance here in the second half. And it'll be interesting to see if Harvester tries to get their backup quarterback involved and try to give Young just a little bit of a blow. Obviously, he plays a pivotal role defensively as well, so just really tough for him to keep that motor going and virtually impossible. But they do have a competent backup in Leighton Say. He's he's a guy that can really come in and make a difference. So we'll see if they decide to go to him or if they just try to ride out Young for as long as possible.
So we'll take one more break here before the second half of action starts here at Coosa High School. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss the second half of action.
The Gold Scholarship was created by state law. It is an opportunity for individuals and businesses to tell the state where they want their tax dollars to go and what they want to support. And then the Gold Scholarship program funds financial aid for lower income students to attend a private school in the state of Georgia.
My name is Annalise Cochran, nickname Sunlight. My middle name means consecrated to God.
Educational and academic-wise, she is far superior. And so we went to several other schools trying to figure out where we needed to send her. Unity has provided not just a foundation, but a covering for her to be able to grow and prosper.
So for students, it's helpful in that it provides financial assistance to pay tuition or fees or anything like that.
Your Gold Scholarship funds are not a handout, they're a hand up. It lifts kids up to a place where they may not have had the potential to go before. She is dyslexic. She does have dyslexia. It's not because it was missed by the school. It was because she was so intelligent, she hid it. And we were able to find someone through the resources that she provided that was able to test her, immediately find what she needs, and get her the resources that were available. And it was just immediate.
So it really opens up the door of opportunity for students to receive an excellent education.
I would ask first, what do you want for your child? It has definitely provided ease when it comes to making sure that our children are able to get what they needed through education here at Unity.
I thank you for letting me be at Unity because I love this school. It helped me with a lot of self-talking and just having a lot of creativity and imagination and music.
Thank you so much for your generosity and your contributions to the Gold Scholarship Program.
Coosa High School, ready for the second half of action between the Unity Lions and the Harvester Hawks here in the state semifinal. Like we said a number of times, it's been all Unity in the second half, but Harvester receives this second half kickoff with an ability to put some points on the board right at a halftime here after having some time to regroup and come up with a plan for this second half.
Yeah, and they just had to honestly really enjoy those 20 minutes of time to try to catch their breath. You saw the guys kind of just gassed in the end zone, trying to catch their breath, trying to reset their minds and get ready for the second half, because they're going to need a big-time effort to try and pull off a comeback here against Unity. And Unity's not going to take their foot off the gas pedal, as we heard from Coach Humphreys in pregame.
Absolutely, as we get ready for kickoff here. It'll be Giddens ready for the kickoff. As this one punted deep, and will trickle into the end zone for another touchback.
Yeah, now Harvester's just got to find a spark of energy that can carry them to put some points on the board early on in this second half. Try to put some pressure on the Unity offense, because if this game continues to go the way that it has gone, Unity's going to be able to blow this one open pretty quickly. But we'll see if Aubrey has something to say about that, the quarterback for these Hawks.
Yeah, this season, Unity, no stranger to blowing things open. As, like you said, that score differential in the open has just been absolutely dominant so far this year.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull that one up. I believe it was 476, I want to say, to 46. And again, 22 of those points came from Harvester earlier in the season. It's 473 to 46. So that's, I can't say I've ever seen a stat like that but throughout the course of the season, especially this deep into it. But again, Unity has had just a magical season, trying to cap off a perfect year.
As the quick out, this time the other Young gets it, and he'll get obliterated at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Blake Hall in on that tackle. And it looks like he was joined by number 80, Joel Sims, as well, as the first ones to that play. And again, just the screen game has just not been there for the Harvester Hawks in this one. They try to be consistent and continue to go to it, but it's really at this point just setting them back behind the sticks.
As Young takes the snap, runs into pressure, has some room up the middle, able to make something happen with his legs. He dances along the sideline and gets out to the 37-yard line as a flag comes in from behind the play.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if they're going to call a late hit possibly on the Lions, or because that was at the very tail end of this play.
As the referees huddle up to discuss.
Yeah, not quite sure how that one could be on Harvester that late in the play. As the official, not quite sure of what he's about to tell to the general public. He wants to have another word with his line judge.
And it will be against Harvester. It'll be a holding call against the Hawks. As we'll take another look at things here. Young able to just make something happen up the middle with his legs. Like you said, that did come in pretty late. Keep an eye on Yarnall there. Able to maybe
I'm not quite sure who that penalty was going to be on, but nonetheless.
Not quite convinced.
Yeah, the Hawks get pushed back. It could have been on another part of the play that we couldn't quite see, but nonetheless, again, the Hawks behind the sticks.
As this time a pass dropped. It looked like it was going to be complete to Jaden Lepley. Instead falls through the hands of the freshman receiver.
How about Andreo Sawyer really just ripping that one away defensively? Got that long arm in there and knocked that ball away. Otherwise, Lepley would have had a completion and maybe some green in front of him to run.
So 3rd down and 7 for Harvester coming out of the half. As take a look at this break up here by Sawyer, just punches it out perfectly. 2 interceptions on the day for Sawyer as well.
Yeah, Sawyer's been terrific as we expected coming into this one. The 6'2 senior is making plays all over the field for this Lions offense and defense and special teams. So another funky formation here for the Hawks. He's got his man.
Looking downfield.
Wow.
Has it broken up. Wrestled away there from, that was Randon Fields, the intended target.
Yeah, Randon Fields had to step on Sawyer, but again, the length of Sawyer and that ball, just a touch behind Fields, made him have to come back to that ball and try to make a tough play over the lengthy Andreo Sawyer, and that's just not going to happen too often.
4th and 8. Out on the play for Harvester. We'll see what they decide to do. Deep in their own territory. And it looks like they're just going to go for it.
Yeah, the Hawks have shown no fear trying to go for it on 4th down. I believe we've only seen one punt from Yarnall in this one. It's been mostly the offense out on 4th down.
As Young takes it. Doesn't have anyone to fake the handoff to. Still finds a receiver somehow. Down the field. What a play there, Austin Young. On the receiving end of it. I don't know how that one worked out, but it did.
Looked like Austin Young will twin the twin connection that time, as that one was broken from the start. But somehow Aubrey Young able to find his twin. He's somewhere up there. He lets it fly, and Austin Young right there to make the play. But how about the effort from Isaiah Giddens, able to grab hold of the jersey of Austin Young, hold on for dear life for 5 yards, and bring him down out of bounds. That's really a touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, we talked to Coach earlier about just kind of the plays that Aubrey Young's able to make, and just not something you can coach, and that's one of them right there. As Yarnall able to stumble forward on a 1st down run for a gain of 4.
Yeah, and again, this is something I wish, like, if they were going to be aggressive running the ball early on, you wanted to see Yarnall get those early down carries on 1st and 2nd down, try to set the tone for that possession, but it's been mostly Young trying to run in between the tackles, and it just has not worked out for Harvester.
As Yarnall able to run between those tackles, picks up about 6 on the play.
Yeah, big physical runner is Yarnall, and head coach David Humphreys wants to have a word with his defensive unit, specifically those linebackers, try to coach them up a little bit on hitting below the thigh.
Absolutely. We talked about how last game these two teams played. They had some issues kind of bringing down Yarnall, especially in that he said 3rd and 4th quarter. And coming out of halftime, Yarnall had a couple good runs there where they're not getting low enough on those tackles, and Yarnall's able to just kind of run through them.
Yeah, like we said, talking to head coach David Humphreys before the game, he wanted to be able to have his guys always hitting at the thigh or below the thigh of Yarnall to be able to try to get him down. You cannot try to tackle him head up because the big man's going to take you for a ride. So I got to believe that's what Coach Humphreys is preaching to his team. Yeah. Now, because like we said, Harvester is a team that can score the football. They're able to get comfortable, especially with Young playing quarterback, get comfortable and find a rhythm. That's where Unity could have some trouble defensively, especially if they start to get out of whack as far as their fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell he was a little bit fired up calling that timeout, wanting to get his defenses ahead in the game, let them know that this one's not over yet. Just because you have a 27-point lead does not make this one over in the 3rd quarter.
Trying to urge them towards those donuts.
As Yarnall gets a kind of awkward handoff here. This time they bring him down behind the sticks.
Boy, how about the effort from William Wilson and Brady King that time, tracking that play down, diagnosed it early on and attacked it. Beautiful job by the linebacking core and the defensive back.
Gets Harvester behind the sticks with that one. 2nd down and 14 for the Hawks. Not the place you want to be versus Lion defense.
Yeah, 9.5 minutes and counting to play here in the 3rd quarter. Harvester has to get moving.
Young rolls out, looking for a receiver, all alone down the field. Good throw and catch as a big chunk play there for the Hawks. Dredson Tolliver on the reception. The big tight end for Harvester getting things done in the pass game.
Yeah, nice job. Nicely drawn up play to get Young to the outside in space. And then Dresden Tolliver, he's a guy that's going to be a problem for years to come for Harvester. I believe he is just a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. Only 15 years old, showing off that he has a bright future.
As they try to bounce that one to the outside, the ball comes out. Unity's got the football. No signal from the officials yet. Not sure if he was down or not. Unity thinks it's theirs.
And what a play if it stands.
Brady King with the football in his hands. But they'll say the runner was down first, still no gain on the play.
Yeah, we'll get another look at it here as Austin Young was trying to navigate through the holes, and he met another pride of Lions. And that one should have been going the other way, I believe.
Absolutely. Instead, it's Young making some moves out there down at the 10-yard line, or a little at the 11, they'll say, but still good enough for a first down. Harvester being extremely efficient on this first drive.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of the continuity that Coach Nelson wanted to see from his team in the first half, starting up a little bit late, but better late than never for the Hawks.
As Young, trouble in the backfield. He's making a man miss, running all over the playground, diving for the pylon, and touchdown. Harvester on the board here tonight in this third quarter. Aubrey Young getting it done.
Yeah, Aubrey Young, he's a guy that if you get him outside and in the space where he's going to have a one-on-one matchup, mano-y-mano, he's going to win that pretty much 9 out of 10. And that time he's able to make a man miss, and if he's able to make a man miss, his ability to change speed and kick back into that high gear it's special. And that time he shows it there, gets the first touchdown of the game for Harvester.
Yeah, it looks like out of the half, Young's just running a little bit looser, kind of letting it all out there. Maybe a little bit nervous, a little bit stiff there in that first half, but this is the way we've seen him run all season. And having some success with it early on as the snap was bobbled. Yarnell just throws a jump pass in the end zone, incomplete. But Harvester still puts 6 up on the board, 8:44 left to play in the third quarter as they come out with a good drive at a half.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Hawks. Now, can you come out defensively and just kind of change your intensity, especially on the defensive line, be able to generate some carnage, try to disrupt this offense from Miles Schwartz.
There's a good individual effort there by Young, put 6 on the scoreboard.
As we take a look at the other semifinal matchup between Pinecrest Academy and Lafayette Christian, who will ultimately face the winner of this game. That game is still 0-0. So a good one brewing in the other semifinal matchup here as Harvester trying to claw their way back into this one, and they did a good job to get things started there with a touchdown.
Now they will kick it back off to Unity, and they're going to still have their hands full with this Unity offense. It's great you cracked the defense. Now arguably the tougher task, cracking this offense.
Yep. Being able to, again, disrupt the rhythm of Unity, and the only way that I see the Hawks being able to succeed in that is being able to create a surge on the defensive line and be able to get some pressure on the quarterback and pressure in the backfield.
Jaden Wepley to kick it away. Onside kick here. Surprise, and Unity able to cover it. Harvester trying to catch them sleeping, almost did.
Yeah, I like that call from Coach Nelson. Try to catch Unity off possession and try to steal a possession in the process, but instead a nice job by Unity, able to sniff it out and come up with a recovery. Now you set up your offense at midfield.
Yeah, it helped that that kick was a little bit of a slow roller, kind of gave Unity a little bit of a buffer time to react as it didn't quite make it 10 yards fast enough.
Yeah, but with the way Unity's offense has played throughout this game, I mean, what's really the trade-off? Giving them 30 more yards that they were probably going to be able to pick up anyway.
As Tyler Ford gets running, talk about picking up some yards. Ford needs one block. He's going to get it as he fights his way into the end zone. Says cue the lights, tack on 6 more.
Wow. How about the blocking downfield from Cooper Mathis, getting his hands dirty with the running back and opening up that hole. Big-time play on all fronts by Unity. Tyler Ford, again, running with authority. The guy's grown over 3 inches this past summer coming into this season. That's a big jump, and he, along with the speed that he already has, and being able to get into the open field, there's just not much you can do about that if you're the Harvester Hawks, and now you're facing a 34-6 deficit with that extra point.
Yeah, so obviously haven't cracked the code of the offense yet. First play touchdown there by Ford.
Yeah, and it's nearly impossible because the entire field of play is eligible and in play for the Lions on any given down. They can go to the right, to the left, up the middle with just the ample amount of weapons that they have. It's really tough to be able to cover all of them. You talk about Tyler Ford, Isaiah Giddens, obviously the quarterback Miles Schwartz, and then you look at other guys who have scored in this ball game. Brady King can also get going on the outside. This is just really a tough offense to have to plan to go against, and it's like you're picking your poison, but either poison is probably going to put you to rest, and it's been a nice job by Unity getting everyone involved.
So tacks on a very fast 7 there, and like we were in the process of talking about, the onside kick didn't make much of a difference field position-wise if Unity keeps scoring at will like this. The kickoff by Giddens upcoming here. We'll see what they elect to do. It'll be another long kick. This one will settle right about the 10-yard line. It'll be returned here by Fields as he weaves his way through traffic out to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, and Unity has been doing a really good job, and that's one of the keys of the game that we talked about beforehand was breaking even in special teams. You know, you're probably not going to make huge plays, which they actually have with Andreo Sawyer earlier in the game with that big-time punt return, but Coach Humphrey's message to his team was that he just wants them to be able to break even, make the right play, make the simple play in special teams, and live to see another day, and they've done that to perfection so far on this one.
Absolutely. So we'll see if Harvester can muster up an answer. Aubrey Young, the coordinator of that last one, he'll run forward for a gain of probably about 6 on that one.
Yeah, just a nice physical run again between the tackles. As, again, Jones just continues to battle and battle and battle in this one. Now it's Yarnall's turn.
As Yarnall gets a good gap up the middle, that'll be good for first down yardage. Moves the chains for the first down of this drive.
And he just running through people, dragging as many Lions as you can for that first down. A nice job by Yarnall. So we'll see if that 1-2 punch between Young and Yarnall will continue.
Yeah, just two offenses with completely opposite philosophies, with Unity just scoring as fast as possible, as Harvester a lot more methodical with their offensive scoring tonight.
Yeah.
Which when you find yourself in a 20-plus point deficit, a little bit harder to work with. As it makes it 2nd down and 13 after the loss of yardage there on first down. So once more, Harvester finds themselves behind the sticks. Young fakes the handoff, rolling out, has pressure. Yarnell comes up with a big catch. Somehow avoids the big hit. I mean, that was, on any other player on the field, a massive hit stick there. And instead, Yarnell just keeps going.
Yeah, he just bounces off a defender that time. And again, that's a ball that you can't have loft on. You cannot put loft on essentially a screen pass, a short pass. That's going to put your receiver in harm's way, to say the least. Nice job, though, by Yarnall that time, able to come down with it and use that contact balance that he has to stay up and try to minimize the damage.
3rd down and very long here, about 14 or 15. As Young rolling out. Gets it out to space to his brother. The other Young puts on the rocket jets and able to get to the outside enough to move the chains there, Austin Young.
Yeah, nice job by Austin Young, getting out in the flat that time, using the chemistry that he has with his brother. Probably been doing this for years and years and years. A little pitch and catch to the flat. Nicely drawn up play to get the first down.
That'll be the 2 Youngs in the backfield to start this one as well. Aubrey looking to go deep, has his man. As a little bit of collision on the sideline.
Yeah, I hope both are okay. That was a big-time collision as Sawyer was tracking down.
As it looks like there is a player down on the sideline.
Yeah, I believe that's Fields, if I'm not mistaken. Got brought down pretty hard by Sawyer.
Fields is up, but I believe that is Fields down, yeah, on the far sideline. So we'll take a quick 30-second break as they tend to the injury there on that far sideline. Here after the injury timeout, it was Fields on the on his own sideline, a little shaken up, but he gets up after some medical attention as we resume play here. 2nd down and short now for Harvester. 3 on the offensive line for Harvester. They'll get it out quick and unable to hold on to that pass.
They wanted the Unity sideline. They wanted that one to be a backwards pass. The referee ruled in favor that it was a forwards pass. But we'll get another look at it. It was really close, and the Harvester Hawks will live to see another day. It'll be 3rd down.
3rd down and short here for Harvester. Love to see it in the hands of Yarnall. And it looks like it'll at least start with him. As Yarnall looking to pass, Instead, he'll run it himself, lugs himself forward for an extra couple of yards, but he might still be a yard short, but Harvester likely going to go for it anyway.
Yeah, he kind of made it tough on himself. I guess that was a designed pass for Yarnall, but ultimately he ended up running forward anyway. Could have just took the snap and tried to bludgeon his way through the defense for a first down. Instead, it's 4th and short.
Yeah, it'll be a long, pretty short 2, it looks like. So we'll see what the play call is here. Looks like it'll be Austin Young getting the snap this time. Before we get a big shift here, Aubrey Young now back to the natural quarterback position. Out quick now to Yarnall, but nowhere near the line to gain.
Wow, what an adjustment by the Unity defense. Able to pivot to that mass shift pre-snap from Harvester and then attack the football. How about Andrea Sawyer taking on the big man, going to the knees and making the play?
Unity offense takes right back over after a big 4th down stop there, puts that drive to a halt. As a handoff now, as another big carry.
My goodness.
Tyler Ford with another chunk play.
But how about the block from Davis Blankenship, just going to work in the middle and interior of that offensive line to open things up for his running back. Big time play from the offensive lineman.
So Ford picks up right where he left off after the last drive, breaking off that big touchdown run, first play on offense for Unity of the half. This time picks up a healthy gain of about 20. As now another good run, this time Miles Schwartz getting in on the action. As just can't say enough about this blocking. You've got an offensive lineman, Elliott Whiteside, about 10 yards past the play, still blocking.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the effort that these guys give, and a lot of these guys plays both ways. So that goes to show you the conditioning of these big boys to be able to sustain this amount of contact and physicality on the offensive and defensive line.
Schwartz looking to tack on another 7 here in the late part of this third quarter. Ford will come in motion as he cuts back immediately. And he's still on his feet. Ford in a race to the pylon, and he's gonna get there.
Boy, I tell you, how about Ford keeping his footing, finding another avenue, searching, and going straight through it with some conviction. Big time play from Tyler Ford.
I think a lot of people thought Ford was dead to rights. He had 3 guys on him and somehow rolls away and wins that race to the pylon.
Well, I tell you, I'm not sure what type of college looks he's getting, but he'll definitely get some after the night and the type of show he's putting on. And again, just a balanced effort from this Unity offense. Everybody getting a piece of the pie. You love to see it if you're Coach Humphreys.
As the extra point incoming, as it is up and no good. This one wide right. So makes it 40-6. 34-point lead now for Unity, and Harvester starting to get into panic mode a little bit.
Yeah, I think they're past the point of panic mode. You know, you're just really at this point, you're just trying to get guys in and out, make sure that everyone's having a chance to at least get a little bit of experience heading into the next season and have your seniors go out on a high note. Obviously, these guys have played their hearts out tonight, just hasn't been their night. But yeah, I mean, Unity, it's looking like, even though it's late in the third quarter, they're going to be headed to another state championship game, and we'll await to see the outcome of the other semifinal game, as it's Pinecrest and Lafayette Christian going at it. Pinecrest, I believe, actually beat Unity Christian last year in the state championship, so could be a rematch of those two teams or Unity taking on Lafayette from LaGrange, Georgia. So it'll be an interesting night, to say the least, with that other semifinal game. Last time we checked in, it was still 0-0.
The kickoff for Unity now, once more, it'll be Giddens.
Referee forgot some dirty laundry on the field.
That's the kickoff incoming now. A low kind of knuckleball finds its way out of bounds, a flag down. Be a little better field position there for Harvester. And now it's just if they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, and at this point in the ball game, you just got to pull out all the stops to try to keep the morale up for your team, draw up some creative plays, which they've done throughout the second half. Again, with that first drive, it looked like Harvester might have had some life in this one, but Unity has really shut the door with the last couple of possessions, both on offense and defense. Its last drive was just a statement drive, running the ball straight up the middle time and time again and allowing the big boys up front to take care of business.
As it'll be Aubrey Young back in command still. As we've seen flashes of what we know he can do, and other times just this defense a little bit too much for him to handle both in the pass game and on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so difficult when you're seeing this many guys in the box. Unity kind of selling out to stop the run, and it's worked to perfection.
As a flag comes down as Aubrey fights tooth and nail to get 3 yards on the play. We'll wait to see what the penalty marker is for. Some conversation between the officials again tonight. As it'll be a face mask there on Unity on the attempted tackles. We'll take another look at it. Just kind of, yeah, definitely got the face mask there of Aubrey Young. And it'll move the ball up another 15 yards for Harvester. And a good break there for the Hawks.
Yeah, it didn't look like anything unsportsmanlike. Honestly, it just looked like an unlucky use of the hands on that one and hand placement. Just the jump cut of Young springing into the face mask. But the Unity Lions respond in a big way, and it's going to be a big man touchdown.
He's going down the field, Elliott Whiteside. The big man touchdown, like you said. Wow, bad turns into worse for Harvester, and everybody eats on Unity.
Man, the big man, talk about just the I can't even put it into words. The way Whiteside was able to get to that ball, retrieve it, and use his speed to get down to the end zone. Man, his work throughout this game has been instrumental in every point that you see on the board for Unity. This time, he puts his name to one of those touchdowns with the scoop and score.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a flag here for maybe a little bit of an excessive celebration, as there's a flag down in the end zone that came out well after the play.
I think Coach Humphreys owes Mr. Whiteside some donuts for going and making that play, man. That is terrific to watch.
As it will be excessive celebration, but the extra point still punched through. And the scoop and score from your D lineman makes it 47-6 here. Yeah, as we'll take another look at it. Aubrey Young just running into trouble, and instead of going down, just loses the football there.
Yeah, and Joel Sims able to get in there and force that fumble. Again, just was able to break through the line and watch the big man put on the Jets and get down to pay dirt.
You could see the concentration that Whiteside had picking up that one, knowing what he had in front of him.
Yeah, the Midas of touch. That is something that you dream of. Just since birth if you were a big man playing the game of football. I remember back in my day when I was playing left tackle for the St. Joan of Arc Catholic Vikings, and I always dreamed about getting my hands on some loose change, a loose ball, and getting off to the races. And boy, I tell you, I envy Whiteside on that one.
Yeah, he's earned that one tonight.
Yeah, he has.
He has been all over the field blocking, disrupting the middle of the field on defense. As the penalty will be applied to the kickoff, as it'll bump that one 15 yards back. Not sure we're going to see a touchback on this one.
Yeah, and just honestly, the war of attrition as a big man. Whiteside just working his tail off throughout this ball game, making play after play after play. A lot of those plays that he makes are not going to end up with his name attached to them. But like we said, he's able to scoop that one up, and now he'll remember that probably for the rest of his life.
Yeah, touchdown in the state semifinal, hard to come by. As the kickoff dribbles out to the 30-yard line, and they'll stop it forward progress at about the 40. So good field position here for Harvester. Just need to get something going.
Yeah, I mean, you got to find at this point down 47-6, I believe a victory is kind of out of the question for the Hawks. But again, you have to be able to find some momentum and have your seniors go out on a good note. They have fought tooth and nail to try to stay in this one. They just haven't been able to stay in it. And, I mean, again, you look at the absence of Nicholson, right? One of Young's favorite targets on the outside is out with what we believe to be an injury, as we'll see the backup quarterback, Tasai, in the game for the first time.
As the handoff, couldn't tell who that was. But it will be.
Yeah, I don't think it's any secret who was in on that carry, Derek. The big man, again, just continuing to put pressure on this Unity defense. And we'll see what Tasai can bring to this offense with Young. Believe, can't quite see if that's him at the top of the screen. I believe he's out of the ball game for the moment.
As Tasai will give a little pitch to Yarnall. He's running towards the sideline, drags one man down. He's got room to run down the sideline, still on his feet somehow, as he does a somersault forward to the 15-yard line. And how about that run from the young man?
Boy, I tell you, that young man has no quit. Able to just bounce off of tacklers, takes that handoff from Tasai, a nicely drawn up play, finds the outside. He's not known for his speed necessarily, but that time able to get away from Wilson and then puts on the Jets. Only Mathis able to track him down. A nice job to be able to prevent a touchdown.
Yeah, you almost have to count on the first tackle, or just not going to be enough for a man that size. As Sai rolls out, a little behind his receiver, can't connect across the middle of the field. As I believe the intended target there was Aubrey Young.
Yeah, Young is still in the ball game. I couldn't quite make that out if that was him at the top of the screen. It is, so they're trying to get him involved as a receiver now. Honestly, would have loved to see this a little bit earlier in the ball game once it looked like Aubrey Young had been kind of bottled up trying to get going with his quarterback runs. Try to see if he can bring in Tasai as kind of a bigger-bodied quarterback and allow Aubrey Young to work out of the slot receiver position.
Yeah, if you can just get Young into space, we know he has the speed and the moves to get away from tacklers. As this one complete over the middle for a touchdown. Great throw there by Sai, and Jaden Lepley able to haul it in for a touchdown and tack on 6.
Yeah, Jaden Lepley's had himself a pretty good day as a wide receiver for Harvester. That time he's able to punch it in. He's been running good routes, getting open. He just hasn't quite been able to get going, but that time he's awarded with a touchdown.
And Harvester will go for 2 here. And they will get it here to make it 14-47 as Yarnall able to stumble his way across the goal line. It wasn't pretty there, but they got it.
Yeah, and you got to love to see head coach Matt Nelson on the sideline still engaged, still trying to urge his team on in this one despite the daunting score. Still has his guys playing hard, and you love to see that from the visitors.
So now the problem for Harvester is you have to give the ball right back to Unity, and they haven't had an answer for them yet tonight.
Yeah. I mean, you can't turn down points, but like you said, now you got to go out and face this war machine of an offense that Unity has put on display tonight. And, I mean, I got to believe if Schwartz is going to go back out there, he's going to be hoping to put some more points on the board and try to command this offense down the field.
As it's still Ford back to receive the kick.
As the ball is placed flat on the turf. Have not seen this. I guess that is a declaration of an onside kick.
As this one goes spinning, won't make it towards the 50, and I believe Harvester left early.
Yeah, it's I've never seen that before. I don't know if that's common in the state of Georgia, but I've not seen the ball lay flat on the turf on a kickoff, even if it was going to be an onside kick. Interesting strategy.
So it'll be Unity ball with a chance to tack on a few more.
Yeah, and we still have another quarter of.
Looks like we're re-kicking. This time from 5 yards back due to the offsides, I believe.
Yeah, it's an interesting call as nonetheless.
They'll try the onside again.
Yeah.
Ball's still flat on the ground. No secret here. As this one does make it 10 yards, but Unity able to fall on it, and now it'll be their ball.
Yeah, Bo Madsen able to get his arms under that one. We haven't quite seen him get loose offensively, the 6'5" freshman for Unity in this one. We'll see if they try to feature him on this drive, try to get him a piece of the pie.
Schwartz still in the game for Unity. Minute 58 left to go in this third quarter. Schwartz sends Ford in motion. It'll be a handoff to Ford. He's gotten loose a couple times tonight. He's got some more room to run here as he goes screaming down the sideline. His offensive lineman down the field for a block. And another Ford touchdown. Tyler Ford finds his way across the goal line.
That is beautiful execution, a one-play drive, and Ford just continues to show as we do have a penalty marker on the field. We'll see what that's about, but nonetheless, that was a beautiful run, great execution by Ford to be able to get to that edge and then turn on the Jets.
And Elliott Whiteside, you turn your head, and he is screaming down the field, stride for stride with Ford. After just returning a fumble for a touchdown, now he's down there trying to help his running back put another one on the board.
Yeah, and I mean, that just speaks to his ability to do away with the man in front of him and then get downfield. As we'll
believe it's a holding call.
We're going to call blocking the back, actually, on Unity. I'm not quite sure who the guilty party was. As we'll get another look at it here, Ford able to find an opening on the right side. It's going to fall out of frame. I believe it might have been the man you were just praising, Mr. Whiteside. As looked like he got a little bit of contact on the backside, but not sure if that's where the penalty came in at. But nonetheless, Unity's touchdown is taken away.
As another man in motion, it looks like they're going to run the same play. This time, Harvester ready for it. They wrap up. I believe that was Giddens on the carry. Good tackle there by the Hawks. Makes it 2nd down and 6. As Giddens limping off the field a little shaken up on that tackle, but moving around fine on the sideline. As Ford again coming right up the middle this time. and they'll get him down before the first down marker.
A little extracurricular activity going on as number 40, a little 42 on 42 crime that time.
Ford able to just run right down the middle of that defense with his blocks. It'll be short of the first down, makes it 3rd down and about 2. As they await the play call from the sideline here. Schwartz has Beasley in the backfield behind him, not someone we've called their name a whole lot today. So moves now to the side of Schwartz.
Oh, hard count that time from Schwartz. You don't see that every day from a sophomore quarterback. And it'll be 5 yards in favor of the Unity Lions.
And be enough for the first down as well, so get gifted a fresh set of downs due to the jump. And you saw Schwartz happy about that one.
You got to believe that's something he practices at home a little bit, just trying to get that reaction from the defensive line. He does just that there. And again, the amount of talent that we've seen in this ball game is it's so impressive, and you got to believe some of these seniors are going to have the opportunity to play at the next level as the third quarter comes to an end.
And we'll take a 1-minute break as well. Be back for the fourth quarter of action here at Coosa High School. We're back here for the fourth quarter of action at Coosa High School in this state semifinal match between the Harvester Hawks and the Unity Lions, as Unity proceeds to drive down the field once more here tonight with a 47-14 lead here as we go with 12 minutes left to play in this matchup. It'll be Schwartz. Another handoff to Ford as he goes in motion. He's still on his feet. Schwartz eventually gets dragged down, a good gain of about 14 yards.
And it looks like Yarnall might have got rolled up on. Number 44 in white is down. And that is not what you want to see after he has just played his heart out in this one for Harvester. And he'll receive some medical attention.
Yeah, they've had no answer for Tyler Ford tonight, as he's gotten a couple on those jet sweep motions where he can either bounce it outside or take it up the middle, and whatever he's picked has usually worked here tonight.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, it's, like I said, the entire field is in play when Ford comes across the middle. Again, he has so much speed to be able to get to the outside, but also the physicality to run in between the tackles as well. And you can't really overload a side if you're Harvester, because they'll send a guy like Giddens in motion and get him the ball as well going the other way, and then your defense is off balance that way too. So it's just really a tough offense to game plan for any opponent.
As we're going to take a break here, they're still treating the injury, and we'll be right back after a break.
Hello, my name is Michelle Roll, and I'm the Director of Admissions for Unity Christian School. I want to introduce you to the new Georgia Promise Scholarship. The Georgia Promise Scholarship is a new scholarship offered by the state of Georgia for families who live within the attendance zone of a low-performing school. The purpose of this scholarship is for families to enroll their children in exceptional educational programs through non-public schooling of their choice. Unity Christian School is one of those private schools that have been approved to offer this scholarship. It has been wonderful to see so many families who have wanted a Christian education for their children that they now have the opportunity to enroll here at UCS. If your child is currently attending public school or entering kindergarten for the first time, and you live within one of the approved attendance zones of a low-performing school by the state of Georgia, I encourage you to apply for the Georgia Promise Scholarship at mygeorgiapromise.org. And your
And we are back here, Unity Christian driving again with a 47-14 lead as this one is fumbled on the snap. Schwartz trying to get it away. He's trying to find his way back to the initial line of scrimmage. He is dragged down. And a tough break for the Lions there as Austin Young able to wrap him up and bring him down, and he'll be credited with the sack on that one. So nearly disaster for the Lions, but ultimately another heady play from Schwartz, able to gather himself, go track the ball down, and honestly nearly get back to the line of scrimmage as he tries to evade defenders, just not able to get away from Austin Young. A nice play from the senior.
Yeah, the last time they missed a snap, it ended up as a touchdown for Unity. So we've seen him be able to improvise and make those plays before, as it's now second down and 16. As we hit a stoppage, it'll be delay a game against Unity and back him up 5 more yards, I believe. So problematic for Unity, makes it second down and now about 20. Obviously, we'll change the play call a little bit and what you're trying to get back here on second down. As a man comes in motion, it'll be a flip to a Lion, and he goes speeding into the end zone. Brady King with another one, showcasing the speed, just weaving in and out.
What a night for the sophomore. He is putting on a show and proving that he is going to be a staple of Unity Lion football for years to come.
An impressive run on third down and about 20. And Unity 53-14 lead, 9:24 left to play.
And again, the fast start from Unity is what really set the tone for the Lions, and being able to put up quick points and then go right back and get a stop. That was huge to start this game off. This one is going to be bobbled and thrown away. Not great execution in the special teams game. Coach Humphrey's not happy about it, but still a 53-14 lead as we'll see it again. Brady King getting to the outside and just honestly coasting all the way to the end zone, looking back at his defender, having something to say on the way to pay dirt.
All nice things.
Most definitely.
As Unity in cruise control at this point with 8:46 left. Unity will likely be competing for a state championship next week against the winner of that other game. Still no score update from there, but one of the things that Coach Humphreys emphasized before the game is that they don't really talk a whole lot about their opponent. They just worry about themselves, and they've done an excellent job of doing that tonight. And with another week of prep, like whatever they did last week, certainly bodes well for them going forward.
Yeah, and another thing that Coach Humphreys talked about in the preseason in an interview, he spoke about the the off-season regimen that he puts his guys through. It's more of a weightlifting and more of a weightlifting concentration than most other schools have during the summer. A lot of other schools focus on conditioning and footwork, but during the summer, the Lions really focus on getting their guys stronger, being more advanced above the shoulders than every other team in their region, and it shows here just with the ability that they have to make a push at the line of scrimmage.
It's a good return there, as Aubrey Young was on his feet for a while before being dragged down at the 25-yard line. He might have run about 50 yards in order to get those 10 yards on the return. Just trying to get that outside edge and was never able to find it. And now Harvester coming back out. And it looks like they'll stay with Sy at quarterback for right now.
Yeah, Layden Sy has a really nice build for a quarterback. Stout, but also has that athletic build as well.
And he did some good work last drive, able to get him into the end zone. And it looks like there's going to be a penalty before this drive gets underway. And it will go against Harvester, so it sets them back 5 yards before this one even starts. It'll be an illegal substitution.
That's something you see more at the college level, but, you know, the referees seeing everything in this one.
So they'll try again, 1st and 15, as Sy drops back to pass, faces immediate pressure and throws an interception. This one picked off. It was Isaiah Giddens with it, tried to fit in a tight window. Giddens slammed it shut.
What a job by Giddens, just not giving up on the play and staying engaged against, I believe that was Fields on that route, to be able to come up with that interception. And now Unity just looking to pour it on again, 53-14 lead. About 6 minutes and 25 seconds and counting left in this ball game.
As we'll get our first look at Ben Wilson, the freshman quarterback for Unity, another young quarterback for this Unity team. He'll get his first snaps of the day, as Schwartz's day likely will be done in order to preserve him next week. As a good run to the outside. Another touchdown for Unity as Andreo Sawyer runs it in. There is a flag down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Sawyer not happy about it. He thought that one was perfectly executed. But instead, it looks like it'll be coming back. And we talked about the amount of touchdowns that Andreo Sawyer has had called back this year. His numbers would look a lot different if some of those would have stood, but
make it 13 for him now.
Yeah, again, just the aggressiveness of the blockers for Unity is sometimes raises the referee's eyebrow. As, again, I didn't see much on that one, but, you know, the dirty laundry comes out and the Lions are backing up.
So Wilson still in at quarterback. He'll get the play call there from his coach. They'll just give Wilson a little bit more field to work with, who's backing it up a little bit. Some more motion here across the formation. Wilson handles the high snap. He's going to run it himself into the teeth of that defense and picks up 7 yards on the play. Brings them ahead of the original line of scrimmage, 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, nicely designed play to get the young quarterback going, following that big-time offensive line that Unity has, pick up a couple of yards and make this 2nd and manageable.
And it's nice to be able to give your young quarterback the opportunity to see what he can do here in a playoff game. he's seen some action this year with some of the scores we've seen out of Unity. Not too surprising as he's able to handle that one, get the handoff off to Giddens in time after a bad snap. And Giddens still pushing his way forward before they finally blow it dead. Pretty close to the first down marker.
Isaiah Giddens takes the handoff and pushes the pile.
We'll see.
For a gain there.
It looks like it'll still be a little bit short of the first down marker, but not by much based off where the official on the far side is standing.
And you just look at the physicality of Giddens on this play, just able to continue to keep the legs churning. Even with a bunch of Hawks on top of him, he's still going. And Giddens actually the son of the wide receivers coach here at Unity, and he's really grew throughout this program in his years as a Lion. He continues to do it and do it well.
As Wilson takes this one up the middle, Wilson's got a lane to run, and he's in for a touchdown. The freshman quarterback finds the end zone.
Untouched as well. I don't believe anyone was able to get a hand on his jersey on his way to the end zone. What a play by the freshman bursting through the hole.
Good blocks downfield by Tyler Ford. He's got enough touchdowns today. He figured might as well help the freshman put one on the board too with some excellent blocking downfield, and that's really been the story of today. Every good run is accompanied by 3 or 4 good blocks downfield making it happen.
Yeah.
So this one well out of reach now, trying to make it a even 60 for Unity in a state playoff game and their last home game. This one is good. The extra point, a low one, but finds its way within the uprights. And just an impressive showing of force here tonight by Unity. Just everything going right, but a lot of times because they made it go right.
And they're celebrating the kicker on the sideline. I believe that was number 23, Charles Glover. 14-year-old sophomore was able to put that one through, and the sideline was loving it. Now a little Cotton Eye Joe to try to get the crowd into it again. 60-14 ball game. The Unity Christian crowd has been treated to a big one, and they have enjoyed every single second of it. They're going to be headed to a state championship.
I would enjoy every second of being able to watch you do the Cotton Eye Joe, Aaron.
Oh, no, that's not anything that anyone would ever need to be subject to see is me doing the Cotton Eye Joe. Dancing is not my forte, Derek. You should know that by now.
It's okay. But at this point, Unity all but secure their spot next week.
They'll still be dancing.
They will 100% still be dancing and trying to make up for last year's loss in the state championship game.
Yeah, we'll try to get an update on the score for you before we end the broadcast, as that one's bobbled.
Still be taken out here. A decent return based off the circumstances before upended is Fields.
Number 2, Randy.
As the clock winds down, 1:16 left. As it looks like Havister's going to take a timeout just to stop the clock and see if they can run a couple more plays on offense here before their season comes to a close.
And again, they came out ready for a fight, and they just were outlasted by the ample amount of weapons that Unity is able to deploy in their offensive attack. And defensively, they really stepped up again. Got to give big props to William Wilson, especially in this first half of this game. He was everywhere. Every time it seemed like Aubrey Jones might have been able to find some space and get downfield, this defense was able to make the play to keep him at bay. And that was just demoralizing to this Hawks offense and not being able to sustain drives. And that's why you see the score that you see here on the scorebook.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't from lack of effort from Harvester. They flew around the field all night, just kind of outgunned in a lot of positions and shot themselves in the foot a couple times as well. But still a great season nonetheless, a great victory last week to be able to hang your hat on going into the postseason. An overtime postseason victory is about as good as it gets. Just kind of met their match tonight.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this Unity Christian season, they have been unstoppable. It's been uncanny, just the amount of pressure they put on both sides of the ball. And even we've seen it in special teams tonight. But, yeah, I mean, they have a chance to complete a perfect season. And that's something that they are taking pride in, as you can see in the semifinal game, their last game on their home field tonight. And now they're going to await the winner of this Pinecrest Lafayette Christian game to see who they'll face in the state championship and try to cap off what has just been a magical season down at Unity Christian.
Yeah, and a perfect season, no easy feat, no matter what level or what sport you're playing. To be perfect throughout the season is not something easily achieved. And that few teams are able to say that they've done. Unity trying to add their name to the list.
Yeah, very few teams have done that since I've been alive at any level. You know, and it's always special to see just the standard that these guys play to on every single down and every single play. It's a thing of beauty, and it's all been orchestrated by head coach David Humphreys.
As this pass falls incomplete on third down, brings up fourth down here for Harvester. 36 seconds left to play.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to run the clock down here. 30 seconds and counting left.
As the clock continues to wind down here, fourth down, they'll get one more play off, it looks like, as Aubrey Young will come back into the game for the final snap of his high school career. And it'll be a handoff up the middle, and that'll all but do it here tonight as Unity, the Lions, able to advance to the state the state final game here in the state finals as they blow past Harvester 60-14 as they just could not be stopped on either side of the ball. And they can feel the magic in the building here tonight as they get the job done.
Yeah, it was just a clinic put on by the Unity Lions tonight. Every phase of the game was owned by the home team, and they deserved this trip to the state final, and they're going to have a chance to avenge their loss from last year and make a statement and kind of really bring a championship back to the city of Rome, Georgia.
Absolutely. Before we hop off, we just want to give another huge thank you to our production team and camera crew here at Northwest Georgia Media. Couldn't do it without them as they able to bring us a great production of today's game at Coosa High School. And another Unity Christian football brought to you by Northwest Georgia Media. I'm Derek Black, Aaron Urson. Thank you so much for spending your Friday night with us tonight, as we wouldn't want to do it anywhere else without all of you guys and all of our team behind us. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope to catch you again as Unity advances to the state finals.